fake chaos theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only waits us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness. Only another. It's full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. All about the Betty Express. Misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. I come a freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Betty Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Hey, you guys, welcome. Well, we are, live from Snowmageddon, but the power is staying on and it's nice and warm and toasty. And Mr. Mo is corralling the feral children to clean up the kitchen, which, is a good thing, though they don't think it is. They're actually, it has to be the hardest thing, for kids because, there is all this snow coming down, but it's so blisteringly cold that we can't let them go outside and play. So I do understand that they are going a bit crazy, with all the snow and all the, fluffy white stuff outside and it's too cold. Now, for our particular torture, I have looked ahead into our future, and unfortunately, the defense does not get through this witness even into tomorrow. Now we have him still, I think at let me make sure we are bumping this up to 1.25, but we are in for, I have no idea what that is. We are in for more of this mystically, hysterically ridiculous defense. So y'all have been warned. We are here for the duration. This goes into tomorrow. Oh, I'm glad you guys have power, Deviants. I was wondering because I know that we're just looking to get just a metric butt ton of snow, but I know that ice is so much more dangerous. So, prayers out there for the linemen who I know we're starting to pre-set up and, everyone who may lose power because good night, nurse. Good morning. All right, let's get into this. We've put it off. We can put it off for no longer. I do anticipate, I have a stream for this afternoon. I do want to try to get through as much of this as possible today because we are not going to make it to where we're current with the trial, come this week, but at least not be very far behind come verdict. So I'm going to try to, do more streaming. I think there's a very low likelihood of my kiddos going to school tomorrow. So I'm probably just going to have like longer streams to try to get through this. We'll skip breaks. We're going to skip the curriculum vitae, all the boring stuff that I don't generally like to watch anyway. But let's get back. We can delay it no longer. Tristan, the ponytail hippie, is going to continue to try to make a point, whatever it is.
About it is it may create a situation where they want to reference things outside of this year 17 and 18 period.
Okay.
They haven't said it's irrelevant.
All right. We'll see how it goes. Can we have our witness brought back in, please? Prosecutors, you're on notice. If there's things that I need to know about, I expect to be put on notice if you have colloquy with your counsel.
Sure.
Brunello, welcome. Thank you for
The jurors brought back out, please.
I really don't like the schoolboy sweater set. It is so inappropriate. JKD Buck, Mr. Mo is really excited to get to try we got a mini excavator thingamabob. It has a snowplow on it. So
The cross-examination of this witness. Mr. Murray, go ahead.
Thanks, Judge.
day now, Junior.
Detective, I guess let's take a step back here.
I'd like you to take a step off of a long walk off a short pier. It would help if you were anywhere near a point. You're stepping back from nowhere to nowhere, so you're taking a step back doesn't help.
You are the one who sent out subpoenas for the large majority of financial records that were received in this case, right?
Correct.
You sent subpoenas to TD Bank, right?
Yes.
You sent subpoenas to insurance companies like Sun Life and Una, right?
Yes.
You sent subpoenas to retail establishments like Tiffany Jewelers and Restoration Hardware.
Yes.
You sent subpoenas to governmental agencies like various New Jersey governmental agencies in terms of disability and unemployment.
Yes.
You not only sent these records, but you were the one who decided to whom you were going to send record requests, right?
Do you mean when I prepare the subpoena, am I the one deciding who goes on the attention line?
More that when you're putting together a subpoena and you're saying to yourself, am I going to send a subpoena to Bank of America? You're the one who makes a decision about whether you send a subpoena to Bank of America.
Primarily.
Nobody.
What does he think she's not capable of making independent choices because he's not? Is he trying to get that there was a vast conspiracy to only target Paul?
Directed you to do that. You thought it was in the interest of the investigation to do that.
You can be directed to do that, but I can also make that determination.
And you made a large number of the determinations in this case about who to subpoena, correct?
I didn't issue every subpoena on the financial side, but a lot of them, yes.
Right. Now you didn't make...
Look, I have questions about her hair too, but I think she's done her job long enough that we can trust her, at least, with fiscal policy. Again, part of this is her hairdresser not telling her no. So I'm okay with her with fiscal stuff.
These decisions randomly. Everybody you subpoenaed, you had a purpose for subpoenaing, right?
Yes.
And when we say subpoena, we don't necessarily mean that you were telling them they had to appear in court. What you were really, in effect, doing with those subpoenas is telling them they had to produce documents and give you those documents, right?
Yes.
And the documents, when you would send out these subpoenas, you would send them and tell these organizations that you wanted certain records from certain times, right?
That's written in the body of the subpoena. You have to put a time period, or else they won't comply.
And sometimes you were looking for any and all records in the name of a certain person, like Paul Caneiro, right?
Sometimes.
And sometimes you were looking for specific records from a specific company. But in either event, you would put that in the subpoena, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's how law works. Thank you for reminding us.
You then wrote, prior to the supplemental report that you had referenced today, you wrote about 60 investigative reports in this case.
I don't have the exact figure, but I wrote a lot of supplemental reports.
And you wrote those reports in and around the end of 2018 through 2019, right?
I'd have to look at every single one of them to confirm.
Well, let's work backwards.
For God's sake, no. Where are we?
I think you wrote...
Kim Kardashian, put the Werther's original away.
Your most recent report in December of this year, right?
Right.
And then before that, you wrote a report in July of this year, right?
Those two were regarding why we're here today, with my testimony for the motive.
But you didn't write. And then before those two reports that I just mentioned, it had been some time since you'd written a report in this case. It had been years.
Probably I'd have to go back to confirm the exact date.
When you were sending out...
Alice G., we learned that she can decide who she subpoenas, but she also can take instruction from other detectives. But she's the one that actually writes the subpoenas, and you've missed nothing. Nothing of value or relevance has been missed. It's the defense. It feels odd to say that because in the last trial, it was the state playing the role of nothing of value was missed if we fast forward. And now it's the defense.
These subpoenas to these organizations, you were also selecting the people about whom you were looking for information.
Yes. Or entities.
You had an attachment to many of your subpoenas, and you refer to it in your reports as attachment A. You know what I'm talking about? And attachment A is a list of names, right?
Yes.
And the names on it are Paul Caneiro,
Yes.
Susan Caneiro,
Yes.
Keith Caneiro,
Yes.
Jennifer Caneiro.
Yes.
There's an attachment A with include Caitlin Caneiro's name as well, right?
Yes.
Marissa Caneiro.
Yes.
You got records for all of those Caneiros, right?
Yes.
But it was you who chose who and who not to list on that Exhibit A, right?
And following the money, that is what would give me the financial lead to subpoena records for an individual or an entity. So if I didn't subpoena an individual or an entity, it's probably because there was no investigative lead to follow the money for.
Seems
The individuals I
reasonable.
subpoenaed had received money in one way or another.
I took that from your testimony before, because you said you started with the trust account, right?
Yes.
But obviously, this investigation that you conducted in terms of records requests broadened beyond merely obtaining bank statements, right?
In terms of,
You obtained records from credit card companies, right?
yes,
They're
You
fiscal
obtained
records,
numerous
numbnuts.
records from American Express.
yes, following the money.
You obtained records from Discovery.
Yes,
You obtained numerous records from various insurance companies, right?
yes,
And you obtained records not just for Paul Caneiro.
Well, I'm drinking a morning health beverage of a zero sugar energy drink, but I am very tempted to just break into the Jose Cuervo margarita, big bottle and Sprite, because holy God, this goes for the rest of today, y'all. Buckle in, get your gummies, get your Quaaludes, because this continues for the rest of this day. And oh no, wait for it, because it goes to the next damn day with this woman trying to explain to this functional moron, this mental midget, what is going on. So we are in for torture for a long time, y'all. She is either Kathy Segal or Ann Wilson from Heart.
In terms of his finances, but you got the bank records for Keith Caneiro as well. You got his personal banking records, right?
I did.
And you got his personal American Express records, right?
I did. I was following the money of the businesses.
And you obtained multiple bank accounts unrelated to the business that were in the name Keith Caneiro, right?
Well, they were Keith Caneiro's personal accounts.
And you reviewed all of those accounts in terms of the information that you received, right? Because in order to follow the money, you would need to review the records.
Yes.
Your investigation really can't be complete if you haven't reviewed everything that you've got, right?
Correct.
So I take that to mean that you reviewed everything that you got in this case, right?
Yes.
You reviewed every financial record that you received as a result of a
Yes,
Monmouth County subpoena
Cletus.
that went out
Move
in this case,
on.
right?
Well, I'd like to add this caveat, I subpoenaed Canada Life. There's relevant documents that are very relevant to a financial investigation and following the money. Canada Life, did you get the money? Can you show me you got the money? Can you show me where the money was applied? So, hold on. If they sent me 3 inches thick of legal documents talking about a trust, I'm not an attorney to be able to interpret the legalese of that. But to the extent that I had to review documents as it relates to the financial component, yes.
Okay. I think the idea, though, is this. In order for you to have a complete investigation, you need to at least have eyes on everything that you receive. Is that fair to say?
Yes, but these were voluminous records.
Understood. We're talking about tens of thousands of pages of records, right?
Yes.
But, I mean, that was your...
Name a book that isn't written by Terry Pratchett that you've actually read cover to cover, MFer. Name one book that isn't written by Neil Druckmann that you've read cover to cover. How has he been a functional attorney? Is there, and I legitimately mean this without irony, without sarcasm, as a concerned American citizen, is there a special needs special bus lawyer division in New Jersey? Because I feel like he graduated from the Zoolander School of Law for kids that can't read good.
job, right? Was to review these.
Yes.
Nope.
And
Still
I
as
don't think you're here
wobbly as a
telling us
baby
that you
giraffe.
didn't do your job, right?
No, I did my job.
Okay. One thing I wanted to talk to you about was your report that you had written on the history of money coming into and out of the trust account. And though we only talked about the years 2017 and 2018 today, your report encompassed more years than just that, right?
Yes.
Your report actually, you had obtained records in terms of that going back to 2014, right?
When my investigation started, yes.
Yeah. And you had actually reviewed those records from 2014 pertaining to the trust, right?
In terms of money going into the trust bank account? Can you clarify when you say the trust?
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I say the trust, I mean the trust account.
The bank account?
Yes,
TD
the bank.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay, so you had written a report about money going into and out of the trust bank account in the years including 2014, right?
Yes.
Okay. One thing that we're going to see in 2014 and 15 and 16 is that money did leave the trust account and didn't go to the insurance policy, right?
Yes.
But in 2014, all the money that was taken out of the trust account was paid back into that account.
Can I refer to my supplemental report, please?
Yeah, I'll show it to you if you like. This is S56.
Again, why was Paul still the trustee? I am in no way blaming Keith. Look, no one could have imagined that this would have happened. But at a certain point, if he's never shown that he can be trusted with this money, why is he still on the trust? I do wonder about that. And I know it's easier said than done. Family ties and things are complicated. But at some point, I wouldn't the family say, yeah, he's been robbing you blind for like 10 years.
I have it here. Yeah.
Was that a judge sigh?
Was this the report?
Can I see the front?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, doing okay. It's coming down quite hard, but it's nice and quiet.
your report, you documented the money that was both taken out of and put back into the trust account in 2014, correct?
Yes.
And
Taken out of the account being sent to Canada Life and taken out of the account sent to Paul Caneiro's personal accounts.
so in 2014, you have a record of $46,000 going from the trust account to Paul Caneiro's personal account, right?
Correct.
And that money, then that same exact $46,000 goes from Paul Caneiro's account back into the trust account, right?
Correct.
In 2015, $27,000 comes out of the trust account and goes into Paul Caneiro's personal account. That's the record you have, right?
Correct.
And $22,000 then comes from Paul's account back into the trust account, right?
Leaving a difference of $5,000 to Paul.
Right. In 2016, your records indicate that $17,700 was taken from the trust account and put into Paul's account.
Correct.
And then $14,700 is taken from Paul's account and put back into the trust, right?
Leaving $3,000 in Paul's account, yes.
Now, another thing that we should mention about the trust in these years, and if you need to keep referring to that, that's fine. Just let me know based on this question. One of the things that we could look at when we looked at this trust account is whether it had been adequately funded over the years in order to make the quarterly payments to the insurance company, right?
Yes.
That's something that we could do by looking to the payroll deposits into the trust account, right?
I did that, yes.
So then you know that the trust account was being funded from the J. Martin business account in 2014,
Yes.
right? And then in 2015 as well,
Yes.
and then in 2016, right?
No. Keith Caneiro was issued a paycheck in 2016. Federal withholding took out.
Defense, this do not come at Peggy Bundy without all your facts and what we like to call recipients, or as you would say, receipts. Maybe don't test this woman with stupidity. Okay, I've had enough of this defense, y'all. I am not making us sit through 999 years of this man trying to find a point. It hurts my soul. So I think it's going to be safe to say that he accomplished nothing, and we're going to go on to the next day. Because, dear Lord, I can't, y'all, I can't. Besides, as interesting as the kind of financial issues in this case are, what's really going to be, I think, at the crux of this is the heinous and horrific unaliving of an entire family. I do think that the state was right to start with sort of the fiscal stuff, because when we do move into what actually happened to Keith's family, it's going to get incredibly, incredibly horrific.
Detective, I want to remind you, you're still under oath, okay?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Counsel, when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge.
What in the Bill Cosby? Who the hell is picking out his clothes, and why? Do I like that they're emasculating and infantilizing him? But it's gross. Stop with the sweater combos. I'm done. Ooh, I like the burgundy.
All right, Detective, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to touch on a slightly different topic to start off today. In 2018, Paul was receiving three different payment in terms of disability from three different sources, right?
Yes.
And that would have included Social Security, right?
Yes.
It would have included an insurance company called Unum,
Yes.
and it would have included an insurance company called Sun Life.
Yes.
Now, when you put your chart together to show the revenue that Paul earned in 2018, we saw that the Unum payments were the same for both years. They were the same for 2017 and 2018.
Yes.
The Sun Life payments were not the same, and they were, you showed $60,000 from Sun Life in 2017 and $9,540 in 2018.
Can I refer to my
Oh, yeah, sure.
reports for July and December, please?
Sure. Showing you S39 and S40.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, what we know in terms of Sun Life was that in 2017, Paul had received a lump sum payout from Social Security, right?
Yes.
And Sun Life ceased payments to Paul because they had compensated him more than they would have had he had been getting that Social Security the entire time, right?
Understood.
That's correct, though, right?
Correct.
Okay. So Paul didn't get a check again from Sun Life until the end of 2018.
Correct. 2 checks.
Okay.
But once that offset that Sun Life took from Social Security came to an end, they began to issue checks to Paul again,
Correct.
right? And so they did issue checks to Paul at the end of December 2018, right?
Correct.
And then in January of 2019,
There were payments in 19, but my analysis for my purposes here at this trial encompassed 2017 and 18 only.
so I'm just going to talk to you about documents that you received as part of your investigation, okay?
Okay.
Because I think you've looked at them, like you said, and those documents show that Sun Life began payment again, and they made payments to Paul in February 20th of 2019.
Objection.
Sidebar? Yeah, I don't. Again, this is out of the time that they were talking about, and I understand what the defense is trying to do here. Their contention is that the motive isn't a motive at all because Paul had all of this disability money coming in. He didn't need to. Unalive his brother. He had plenty of money. 78,000 was chump change to him. So I kind of see where they're going, but I don't think they're going to want to open the door to, again, things outside the already set time parameter. Because I'm guessing that if Paul was skeezy within the 2 years, he was skeezy for a long time.
Social Security began paying to Paul monthly payments of $2,446. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So on an annual basis, that would be $29,352.
Which is what I have listed for 2018, yes.
And then in 2019, we know that checks from Unum continued to go to Paul in the regular amount that they always had.
We're not going into 2019. Just remember, you can ask a question relating to moving forward. Detective, let me ask you a question so that I understand.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I want you to just answer the question that I'm asking you, nothing else. Okay. The annual amount from Sun Life Disability, let's take out the lump sum. What would it be every year? Do you know the answer to that question? Whether this case happened or not, what is the number?
I cannot tell you what it would be in 2000, moving forward beyond the years of the scope of why I'm here to talk about his finances for 2017 and 18. I don't have the exact number moving forward.
Okay.
There's a lot of moving parts to it based on other disabilities that he would be getting.
Okay. But would it be more than 9,000, which is what is listed in your report? Do you know that one way or another?
I don't know that, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll see if you want to ask a follow-up to that, because now I understand. Let's see where it goes.
Okay. So what I was saying before is, you know that I understand that your review of this case was limited to the years 17 and 18.
For my purposes here at this trial, yes.
Yes. But we know very well, of course, that you received records outside of that period, both before and after.
Okay.
Sun Life did provide additional payments in 2019.
And you know that those additional payments were for the amount of $7,430.
In which year?
In 2019, 2 payments were issued to Paul, 2 checks, both
Not
in the
yet.
amount of $7,430.
You'll have to show me. I don't have that information in front of me.
Understood. Judge, this is D59.
Prosecutor, have you seen it?
Showing you D59.
Okay, thank you.
You can just look on the first and second pages of that one.
Okay.
Tell me what it is that you're looking at.
These are checks payable to Paul Caneiro from Sun Life Insurance Company. There are checks dated, one in February and January of 19, and the other checks are all dated in 18 and in 17. Okay.
The checks in January and February of 2019 are for the same amount, right?
February is in the amount of $7,430, and the January check is in the same amount, yes.
Okay. So we have 2 checks now for $7,430. You know that Sun Life changed the benefit amount to offset for Social Security, right?
Yes,
You know that Paul was receiving over $2,400 a month in Social Security, right?
on average,
That amounted
yes.
to on average about $29,000 a year.
Correct,
On average, he was then going to be getting $7,430 a month from Sun Life, right?
correct.
And then we know over the course of a year going forward, he was going to get $104,000 from Una.
Correct.
Okay. So,
Yikes, be careful.
and those are the disability policies that we're aware of in 2018 going into 2019, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned yesterday that much of the American Express bills that you saw, this is in reference to Paul's personal accounts. Many of the bills you saw, the American Express, the credit card bills, right, primarily go to pay for what you call personal living expenses, right?
Yes.
Obviously, you talked about Paul having some fixed costs, like a mortgage payment
And
and
a side piece house.
insurance costs and property taxes and other taxes, right?
Yes.
But a lot of what you reviewed were personal expenses that were not fixed costs, right?
Sure, I obviously didn't include if they went to Starbucks and went out to lunch or to dinner, or, there's other areas that every single penny in the account is not documented.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking you if you documented every penny in the account. What I'm asking you is, when you looked at the American Express bill that was being paid out of Paul's personal account, what you said about it yesterday was that American Express bill represented charges that went largely to personal living expenses.
Yes,
Right. And personal living expenses are not fixed costs.
it doesn't have to be,
And a
but
person can, and I'm gonna move on from that. A person can reduce personal living expenses, of course. Any person is capable of doing that, right?
sure,
And a person who, you know, obviously, when you looked at the mortgage payment of the house, did you at the time, when you were conducting this investigation, do any research or conduct any investigation into what the value of Paul's home would have been prior to November 20th of 2018?
I did not, but why would I do that?
I'm just asking if you did. I'm just asking if you knew that whether there were any renovations made to the home that increased its value, anything of that nature?
If there were renovations made to the home, then that would have been more expenses I could add on to the chart if it fell in the parameters of 2017 and 18.
So you're saying the answer to the question of were you aware of them is no?
I was not aware of it.
Got it.
What are we talking?
So basically, at $74.30 a month from Sun Life, Paul's looking at $89,160 a year from that insurance company alone, right?
Right?
And $104,000 from Uno, right?
Right.
And $29,000 from Social Security, right?
It's a significant amount of money.
With a $3,000 mortgage, right?
And also payroll that the family was receiving from the businesses.
I'm asking you, not about payroll. I'm asking you about money from insurance Paul's getting and going forward, okay? I'm just asking you, just based on that, we know that Paul's fixed costs include a $3,000 mortgage.
Yes?
His side piece's apartment, her lease, 5
Minimal
car
real
leases.
utility costs, right?
Buddies,
There's vehicle leases, right?
significant.
Your characterization of the large American Express bills as personal living expenses, when you looked at the account, I think you'll agree, you didn't necessarily do a breakdown of like money that was withdrawn from ATMs from Paul's 3837 account, right?
I've seen a lot of ATM withdrawals from a variety of accounts. I've seen ATM withdrawals from the business accounts to the tune of over $60,000 a year.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't the question, but I agree. We could talk about that for a second.
Peggy Bundy, we salute you with the St. Bertha's, patron saint of smart asses, Petty Express extraordinaire, badge of honor. For your first smart ass badge, we salute you. She's not a realtor. No, she used to work with the IRS as a financial auditor, as a special agent, and now she works for the DA in their fiscal crimes unit. So, yeah, she's going to have somewhat of a good memory of a case that she's reviewed extensively before coming in to be an expert witness.
Second, there were over $60,000 in ATM withdrawals from Square One in 2017 and in 2018, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. You conducted interviews with people who worked at Square One as part of this investigation, right?
I did, and when
And
I
you talked
conducted
to-
those interviews, I may not have had all of that banking information back, number one. Number two, I may not have had the ability to analyze 5 years' worth of one company. So when we were talking to those people early on, we may not have had the information that we now know 8 years later, 7 years later, 6 years later.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but you wrote notes about it, and you wrote a note that you talked to Tiffany Rivera, right?
We did talk.
This man is obtuse to the point of this has to be weaponized incompetence.
And you talked to Tiffany Rivera, and Tiffany told you that the petty cash went to Keith, not Paul.
Well, I do know that there were
No, no, no.
ATM
I want you to
withdrawals in
answer the
Homedale, and
question.
there were
I
ATM
just want you to
withdrawals in
answer. I just
Asbury.
want you to answer the question. You talked to Tiffany Rivera, and Tiffany told you the petty cash, the over $60,000 a year that you just thought it was so significant to mention, that money went to Keith and not to Paul.
That's okay. Keith owned 90% of the company.
The answer to that question is, she told you that or she didn't?
I
Did
don't
she-
remember. You'll have to show me the report.
Okay.
Ooh, he's getting snippy and. Ma'am, I love you. Like, she's not even getting upset and he's all huffy. Just gonna go up there and bend and snap and show her the document. Hey, Cletus, maybe you should have the document ready, idiot. Oh, please don't have the document. You blithering moron. You were like, I know that you talked to her. And doesn't. Is the judge snickering? Peggy Bundy, I give you permission to start laughing at him. I am. Oh, Tristan, what happened? Oh, I'd start smiling at him. She is maintaining the resting bee face. I would be so smug. Okay, a little bit of the smug is coming through. I like it, ma'am. I'll allow it. Poor Kim Kardashian. Thought she was going to be a great lawyer.
Who's Claudia?
Claudia is an individual who, based on my recollection, received checks to cash.
But Tiffany told you that Keith, she used the ATM money so that Keith could pay Claudia in cash.
But there's also checks to cash that were, I believe, signed by her too. I don't know her role, if she was a babysitter or house cleaner. I don't recall the role, but I do recall hearing the name Claudia.
So you don't know who she is in this case?
Not exactly. I did not speak to her, no.
Okay.
The state is over here like, at this point, go ahead, Cletus.
All right, so this is S41. These are your notes, right?
That's my handwriting. Yes. What area do you want me to
That's fine, it's
specifically
right
look
there.
at? I have ATM, cash.
I can give you the base number, maybe? Well, and Judge, I'm not sure that they're numbered.
Can we talk about what the document is first, please?
Oh my
What is
God.
what do you have in your hand, Detective?
These appear to be my notes. It's dated in 2018.
Did you take notes in this case?
I did for this. This is numerous pages of notes.
And are
Do you
those
need me to
notes,
read-
are those notes, listen to me, are these notes, were they used to generate reports?
I did not specifically memorialize this meeting because the detectives that
The
were.
question I'm asking you is, are those notes, were they used to generate reports? That's all I'm asking.
I don't recall.
Okay, so you have notes that could be separate than your reports? Is that are you saying that?
Yes.
Okay, so these notes that we're talking about now, what are they from? Are they from interviews? Are they from something else? I need to understand what they are so the jurors understand what they are.
These appear to be notes of when I participated in the interview with Tiffany Rivera.
Okay. So at least now we know what they are. So, and I assume that they're not numbered? The page numbers are not numbered?
There are bait stamps on these notes, yes.
Okay. So on the page that Mr. Murray is asking you to look at, what's the Bates number on the side? Or wherever it is.
Mr. Murray, could you go back to that page, because I don't have that in front of me.
I feel like defense didn't look at their
355.
homework.
Bates ending 355, I'm sorry.
Okay. And you can ask your question.
You talked, that page reflects conversation that you were party to where Tiffany Rivera, employee at Square One, talks about the petty cash of the business.
Yes.
What she says about the petty cash is that Keith took a lot.
Yes.
No mention of Paul.
Not in my notes, no.
He's the owner of the business.
At this point in time, when you took these notes, you were investigating Paul, right?
I was investigating the allegations and the potential motive. Those notes were taken November 26th. The murders occurred on November 20th. This was 6 days later. I don't even recall if I received bank statements back from a grand jury subpoena at that point.
Well, okay. But the point is, you thought it was important to bring up for this jury, without me asking you a question about it at all, that there was a lot of petty cash taken from the businesses, right? That's a thing that we just saw happen.
I thought it's important because I could.
So you decided to punish the jury and the witness by going through and proving what? That the business owner took money from his own business? Well done.
See the locations where the cash was taken out of, and it appeared twice a week. Once was in Homedale, where Keith Caneiro lived, and the other cash withdrawal was in either Ocean Township or Asbury. They were the same amount, maxed out at $700, because that's the max ATM withdrawal anyone could take back then at a given time. I noticed.
So I'm just pointing out. I'm just pointing out that today, with the jury here, you thought it was important to put that information out there, that there were a lot of cash withdrawals from the business. I didn't ask you that question. You volunteered that on your own. Is
Oh
that
my
right?
God, no.
Right.
Okay. But the truth of the matter is that money, that cash, that you know from talking to Tiffany, was going to Keith and not Paul.
Keith took a lot. She didn't say Keith took it all.
She didn't mention Paul, did she? Did she mention Paul in that statement? Did she mention Paul in that statement? Yes or no?
I do not have Paul written down on those notes. That doesn't mean it wasn't mentioned.
Do you take good notes or bad notes when you
my
investigate a
God.
case?
All right, well, we are done because this is...
Insurance policy.
Objection.
Sustained. You can.
Doesn't mean you're going to win anything, Cletus. Oh, Paul. You're just hearing your defense make a mockery of, well...
I'm gonna ask it. I'm gonna ask it. Did your investigation reveal who received the death benefits as a result of Keith passing away and the rest of his family? From the insurance, the life insurance policy, do you know who received that money as a part of your investigation?
I know who the beneficiaries were.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you who actually received the money. Do you know?
I do not know.
You can ask your next question based upon whatever that is.
You don't know. I would imagine also that you didn't look into it.
When were they paid out?
You can't ask questions, detective. You can only answer them from your witness chair.
I'm just asking if you looked into it.
I did not.
So you weren't interested in following that money, right?
I did not need to follow the money for the charges I was charging at that time.
All right, thank you. I have nothing further.
Redirect.
Well done, Cletus. Well done.
Detective, do you recall being asked on cross-examination about certain times when a TD Trust account was not fully funded?
Yes, I do.
Now, during those times when the account was underfunded, was there anything preventing the defendant from sending the money that was in the account to Canada Life?
Objection. This is not.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Could you repeat that, please?
During the times that the account may have been underfunded, was there anything preventing the defendant from sending that money that was in the account to Canada Life?
I've
No.
never seen anything like
There's no
it.
downside to it?
He could have sent the money to Canada Life.
You were asked on cross-examination about certain times when money from the trust account would go back into the business. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And just to be clear, was the trust account funded through J. Martin or Square One through Keith's payroll?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and then you were asked about certain times then when that money would then go back into J. Martin at Square One. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I think you already did it, but can you just remind us of who owns 90% of Square One?
Keith Caneiro.
Yeah, kind of makes sense.
On cross-examination, do you recall being asked about an April 11th, 2018 email from the defendant to Keith?
Yes.
Specifically whereby I believe they asked about how the defendant indicated he selected the wrong bill payee for some of the 2017 and 18 payments that went to his school loan,
Yes.
and that he would pay the money back?
Yes.
Right, and then do you recall being asked on cross-examination some questions about the fact that after the date of that email, the defendant did pay some funds back into the J. Martin account? Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you, in fact, gave the defendant credit for that on those boards. Specifically, you indicated he paid $21,548 back into the J. Martin account after. Is that right?
That was the net effect of taking 5 out, putting 27 in. Approximately, I gave him the credit of 21,000 and change.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but were the dates that the defendant paid those funds back into the J. Martin account after the date of that April 11th email?
Yes.
Specifically, were those dates between April 26th and May 15th of 2018?
Yeah, how do you accidentally pull out $20,000 to pay your school loan and then like, oops a doopsie, I picked the wrong account?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this, Detective. After May 15th of 2018, did the defendant nonetheless continue to take withdrawals out of that TD Trust checking account?
Objection.
What is it? What's your objection? Go ahead. What's your objection?
Ultimate issue.
Yes, he did.
Okay. And specifically, after May 15th, after he paid that $21 and some thousand back, did he in fact make 16 transfers from that trust account into his own personal account?
Yes, he did.
And did that total $33,300?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever see any of those funds being paid back to that TD Trust account?
No, I did not.
Or to Keith Caneiro at all in any way?
No, I did not.
And from
Defense
looking
has
at those TD
done a
bank
great
statements
job.
that Mr. Weinstein had sent you, what do we know about those 16 transfers after May 15th that the defendant made from that TD Trust account?
From May, June, July, August, and September, those bank statements were altered.
S11. Speaking of that email, I'm going to show you what's been marked as S11. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Is that the email we were just speaking about?
Yes.
Okay, and specifically, is that authored by who?
From Paul Caneiro.
To?
Keith Caneiro.
Okay, and the date?
Wednesday, April 11th, 2018.
Do you see where it says, I accidentally selected the wrong bill payee? Do you see that?
I had selected the wrong bill payee for some of the payments in 17 and 18, yes.
Thank you
And where
so
does the
much
defendant
for
say that those funds?
being a member for 1 month. Hey, it's Ariel. Yeah, I'm staying. It's nice and warm. I have my little heater on my chair. So I am feeling nice and toasty. The boys are upset because it's, snowing and it's just too cold for them to go outside. So hopefully it warms up at some point before the snow melts so they can go out and play.
Went to?
They went to a school loan.
Detective, of the 32 times that the defendant transferred money from that TD Trust checking account between 2017 and 2018 into his personal accounts, or any of those transfers, did you ever see them going anywhere other than his personal bank accounts?
No, they went into the personal bank account. There were payments. Let me refer to my report. There were payments in 2018 payable to Discover. and they were electronic payments, and the electronic note said student loan payment. That is really the only loan payment I could attribute, and that was $2,525.
Okay, but did those loan payments to Discover come from the defendant's personal accounts?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm asking is, did you ever see anything coming out of that TD Trust account in 2017 or 18 that went directly to pay a school loan?
No.
And in fact, did all of those transfers, all 32 of those transfers from 2017 and 18, did they go anywhere other than to the defendant's personal bank accounts?
No.
So nothing further.
Recross?
No, thank you, Judge.
Okay. Detective, you
maybe-
can step down. Counsel, come up here for a sec, please.
Yeah, defense, you took 2 days, and within seconds, minutes, the state was able to again show that whatever you did, Paul was a schmuck.
Mind, once you get comfortable, can you put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand for me? Again, when you're comfortable, take your time. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Take a seat, get yourself comfortable, and then when you are, can you state your full name for the record and spell your last name, please?
Heather Capp, C-A-P-P.
Okay, prosecutor?
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Kapp, good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Kapp, can you tell us where you live?
I live on Tilton Drive in Ocean Township,
Approximately how long have you lived?
approximately 15 years.
Now,
Oh, I believe this is one of Keith's neighbors, and I don't know. She already looks very, very nervous. This might be one of the people that either called for 911 or heard gunshots around 3 a.m. So this would be over near Keith's house. So I'm guessing she's either a witness that came upon the scene and called 911 or possibly heard gunshots around 3 a.m.
I want to take you back to the early morning hours of November 20th of 2018. Do you remember that morning?
I do.
Now, was there a point in time when you were awoken from sleep that morning?
Yes.
Can you tell us exactly how that happened?
I woke to male voices outside my home. I turned, I looked at my clock. It was 4:30 a.m. in the morning. I got up, I opened my window shade, and I looked out my window. I saw two men running across the street with flashlights. They were in dark-colored clothing and black baseball hats. One ran to the front door and started banging on the door, and the other went into the neighbor's driveway, kneeled down, and was pointing the flashlight into Paul's backyard.
So let me just break that down for a second. You talk about you woke up, you believe it was approximately 4:30 a.m., correct?
Yes.
Okay. So based upon being woken up, what exactly did you physically do?
I woke up and I looked at my clock.
Okay. You looked at your clock. Did you get out of bed?
I did, got out of bed,
Once you got out of bed, where did you go?
to my window.
Okay. Now your window, can you tell us what you can see from outside your window?
My bedroom window is to the top right of my house. When you're facing my house, I can see the Canerio house and the neighbor's house. It's situated in the middle of both homes,
So you live on the same side of the street or the opposite side of the street from the Canerio house you referenced?
across the street.
Now, if I could just approach Judge, the witness with S1, I believe it's S1A 27 Clinton Drive, Alton.
Okay.
Ooh, quivering binders.
Scott, we're just approaching you with S1A. If I could just going to show you first, slide 9. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes,
And what is that?
the Canerio home.
Okay. And when you referenced two different homes that you could
Thank
see when
you.
you look out your window, correct?
Yes.
And you referenced this home, correct?
Yes.
And then whose home is the other one you referenced?
Marilyn?
Okay. And would she be next door to the Canerio home?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this picture, I know obviously there's some tape in there, but does that accurately depict the way that you recall 27 Tilton looking in November of 2018?
Yes.
Just going to show you slide 10 for purposes of identification. Do you recognize what's depicted in that slide?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
The Canerio home and a part of Maryland's driveway.
Okay, now, good looking. So does that accurately depict what the Canerio house and that portion of Maryland's driveway looked like back in November, specifically November 20th of 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you slide 11. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
Okay, what's that show?
The Canerio home.
Okay. Do you see a portion of one side of the home in that photograph?
I see the right side by his fence.
Okay. Does that accurately depict that area of that home, November 20th of 2018?
Yes.
And then finally, I think this is the last one I'm going to show you. Slide 12. Do you recognize what that shows?
Yes.
And what's it show?
It shows the Canerio home and Maryland's driveway to the right.
Okay. And are there any vehicles depicted in that photograph?
There is.
Okay. And were they there when you first made observation out your window on that morning?
No.
Okay. Was there
Okay, so this is Paul's house. I'm thinking I can't keep. I stopped taking notes when the defense was. So this might be Paul's house.
Were there any vehicles in that driveway when you first made observations that morning?
Not to my recollection.
Does this picture accurately depict the Canerio house and Maryland's driveway?
Yes.
Let me just show you more before you go any further. Slide 13 of S1A. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
And what is it?
The side of the Canerio home and a portion of Maryland's driveway.
Okay. And that portion of Maryland's driveway doesn't have any vehicles in the driveway in that photo. And again, were they there when you first made observations that morning?
Not to my recollection.
But does that accurately depict the side yard and that driveway of the side yard of Mr. Canero's house?
Yes.
Permission to publish this?
Objection?
Just for the S1A, slide 9. Did I just show you that photograph?
Dim the lights.
And what again does that show?
The Canerio home.
Okay, so this is Paul's
Essentially,
house.
in some ways, across the street from your house.
Yes.
This, and you already said it, but does that accurately depict the way it looked in daylight hours on November 20th of 2018?
Yes.
Now, just to be clear, the observations that you made that morning, November 20th, 2018, when you woke up and went to your window, was it light out or was it dark out? Can I have S1A, slide 10, please? It shows you that picture too, correct?
Yes.
And what does that picture show?
The Canerio home and Maryland driveway.
And the vehicles that are depicted in that photograph, were they there in that position when you first made your observation?
Beach Girl, we are behind on this case too. We're probably going to we are into day 3. I number the days on kind of my stream, so we might not always line up in like court TV days versus regular, what number we're on. We're currently in day 3. We're still in the state's case in chief. I do hope to, since we skip through breaks and kind of ridiculousness, I do hope to get as close to current as we can, since I doubt that I'll have to break and do stuff for the kiddos tomorrow. I doubt we'll have school. So we are going to try to speed forward through this. But we are still in the state's case in chief. We have kind of wrapped up the financial bits, and I think we're going to start getting into, unfortunately, the more horrific kind of timeline of the murders, to include a medical examiner and possibly even video evidence of some of the movements of Paul. So I think that's where we're going to start heading to, kind of what happened, and give us a timeline of the events of not only the quadruple homicide, but the attempted arson that the state alleges Paul did to his own home.
Did you ever make observations of those vehicles or any vehicles in that driveway at some point that morning?
Believe so.
Okay. Can I have S1A, slide 11, please? Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Okay, when I showed you that a couple minutes ago?
Yes.
And what does that picture show?
The Canerio home.
Do you see, I think you referenced the fence, correct?
Yes.
And that fence is looking at the photo, what side of the picture is it on?
The right,
And that fence, if you know, leads to where?
the Canero's backyard.
Kathy, if you could just keep the voice up a little bit. Thank you. Okay, can I have S1A slide 12, please? Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
Okay, we talked about it a minute ago.
Yes.
And can you tell us what's depicted in that photograph?
The Canero home and Marilyn's driveway.
And again, there's vehicles present in that photograph,
Yes.
but they weren't there when you first made observation. And lastly, can I just have S1A slide 13, please? And you said you recognize that photo, right?
Yes.
What's that show?
The side of the Canero home and Marilyn's driveway.
You take that. You can go to the booth for a minute. I'll probably be back. Just some time. Now, you wake up, you approach that window, which is on the front side of your house, I think you said.
Yes.
And you said you made some observations of two men.
Yes.
Let's talk about them individually. Man number one, what was he doing?
Man number one was running across the street and ran to the Canero front door.
At that time, were you also seeing person number two, or were you watching an individual?
They were together, running across the street and then kind of separated.
Now, you say together running across the street. Can you explain, where they were in relation to your house, the street, and the Canero and Marilyn's residence?
When I first saw them, they were somewhere in the middle of the street on their route across the street to the Canero home.
Okay. And I know you talked about the clothing, but did you talk about what, if anything, they may have had in their hands, observations you made?
Had flashlights.
Okay. Now, the person who ran up to the Canero door, what does that person do?
He begins to bang on the door.
All right. Can you hear the banging, or you see the banging, or
I
both?
could hear it more than I could see it.
Okay. Did you hear any words coming out?
No.
Now, while that person approaches the door, where's the other person?
The other person ran onto Marilyn's driveway, kneeled down and pointed his flashlight into Paul's backyard.
Okay. So you look out your window, you see the first guy go to the door, you see the second guy somewhere in Marilyn's driveway pointing a flashlight, correct?
Yes.
How long did it take you from your first observation to see the guy pointing the flashlight? Approximately.
Pretty quickly.
Like less than a minute?
Probably a minute.
Okay. Now, once you see the guy pointing the flashlight, can you explain exactly where the light's going?
To the corner of the Canero backyard.
Where's that in relation to that in the one photograph we saw? Let me just do it this way. Can I have S1A slide 13? You already talked about this photograph, correct?
Yes.
Can you just talk about the flashlight and the light in relation to this photograph?
The man was kneeling somewhere where the white truck
Okay,
is.
no, we need to have a talk. We are taking. What in the hell is this? Did this man, again, did he try out for Average Joe, the Dodgeball 2 story? Because, again, how is Milton's son next to Theodore Tristan and Kim Kardashian? I feel like the the public defender's office of New Jersey has some splaining to do. Also, if everyone didn't get him a red swing line stapler, I don't know what is wrong with them. This man has probably been gifted so many Office Space meme things, and I would continue the trend.
To this photograph?
The man was kneeling somewhere where the white truck is right now and pointing to the corner through the fence to the corner of that backyard.
When you make that observation of the guy pointing to the corner with the flashlight, do you look immediately to that where the flashlight's going?
Yes,
Okay. And did you make any observations when you did that?
I did. I saw a fire on the bottom corner of the Canero home.
Now, the area where you see the fire coming from, would it be contained in that photograph to any extent? That's the way you're looking at me, I'm imagining that's that question. So, the area where the guy's pointing the flashlight,
Yes.
is that area anywhere within the photograph that's in front of you?
It's right on the corner of the home. I can see it.
So, if I were to ask you to put like a box or an X where you saw that fire, could you do that? A lot of technology.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to do that.
I really do like the use of this technology. I'm going to move me because that way I was trying to just cover up the court TV, but for purposes of showing you guys, I do like the use of this technology, and the judge is really good to get this printed out. I really like the use of this because it can show exactly where the witness was pointing something out on a document. And heaven forbid, but for appellate issues or anyone reading the transcript, it does make it so much more clear where things were being pointed out on a map or things like that, instead of the, witness pointed to the general left quadrant of picture.
Okay. Can we preserve that?
This is S1A, slide 13.1.
So, for a second, let's get back to the guy at the front door, okay? You said you heard banging. Did you hear anything in response to that banging, or see anything in response to that banging? Let me ask you this. The people that live in the house depicted in the photographs we talked about, you referenced the Canerio house, correct?
Yes.
Do you know who they are?
I knew them as neighbors.
Okay. But I should have asked you, back in November 20th of 2018, did you know those people that lived in the house?
I knew that the Caneros lived in the house.
Did you know any of the names?
I only knew Paul's name and Susan.
Okay. Did you know at that point in time whether or not they had any children?
I knew they had 2 daughters.
Okay. But first, you didn't know their names.
No.
Now, do you know whether or not they had any dogs or anything like that?
They had 2 larger dogs.
Okay. How did you know that?
I've seen them walking the dogs. I've seen them running around the backyard.
Just neighbor stuff. You saw dogs.
Yep.
Okay. Now, in response to the bang on the door, did you hear any dogs barking or anything like that? No. Now, while that banging's going on, the second person you referenced has the flashlight on the driver, correct?
Yes.
You look and you see what's depicted in that box.
Yes.
And that's fire, correct?
Yes.
Did you continue to make observations or look at that area from your bedroom window?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened? Can you tell us that?
At some point, I noticed that the fire was escalating up the back of the house onto the roof.
Now, if you know, or if you could estimate, from the point in time when you first saw the small fire to the fire growing up towards the roof, could you possibly approximate that amount of time?
I believe my statement said 20 to 30 minutes.
To that end, at some point in time, as a result of what you saw, did you provide a statement to police? Okay. And in fact, before that, were you spoken to by an investigator prior to that from law officers?
Yes.
Did you provide information to them?
Yes.
Okay, and then did you also provide detailed information to the police?
Yes.
Now, so I think you just said approximately 20 to 30 minutes from seeing the small fire to seeing the fire grow. At some point in time, did you continue to track the movements of the person who went to the front door and the person with the flashlight on the driveway?
At some point, they both moved and they were going to different parts of the house, and that's when I lost track of the men.
Okay, when you say different parts of the house, what did you actually see them do?
Just leave the areas where I first saw them.
Now, was there a point in time while you're at your window watching the back area of the Canerio house that you saw police or fire arrive?
I saw the first, what I believe to be the first fire truck arrive and pull up on my lawn.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, not her lawn.
Your first observation of a police or fire vehicle was a vehicle that pulled onto your lawn.
Yes.
Do you remember what the vehicle looked like, color, etc.?
It was an SUV, and I believe it was red.
Did it have fire, some sort of push it township markings on it?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. Red truck,
Yes.
red SUV, you said?
Yes.
What made you think it was a fire vehicle?
The color and the fact that someone came out of the truck and was taking things out of the trunk of the SUV.
When you say things, did you know what they took out?
No.
Did you keep track of that person and see where they went?
No.
After seeing that vehicle, the red SUV, pull onto your lawn, did you eventually see more police and fire vehicles arrive?
Yes.
And what were they doing?
Everybody was arriving, the cars were parking, getting out, and I guess looking at the scene and working on it.
Was it clear to you that at some point during this, firefighters were dousing the fires?
Yes.
And eventually, did the fire extinguish?
Yes.
Did you ever go outside that morning?
No.
Did you eventually go outside later that morning?
Later that morning,
Now, did you ever have any conversations with any of the Caneros that morning?
no.
Now, as far as, you talked about those two guys, and I think you said the initial observations were in the street.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be closer to your house than when they were on the Canero Road.
Yes.
Did you see any vehicles when you looked, I mean, prior to the red SUV, but when you first looked out your window, did you see any vehicles, like, in the area?
There was an older model 4-door car parked outside my home, kind of in the middle of my home and my neighbor's home.
When you talk about your neighbor, do you know your neighbors, who they are, their names?
Yes.
Okay, who are?
The Harringtons.
Now, that vehicle, you said, I think you said it's between your house and Harrington's house?
Yes.
Was it, do you know, like, specifically where? Was it near their driveway? What was the story?
It was more so closer to my home, but there's an area of lawn in between my home and the Harringtons' home. It was parked around there.
The Harrington driveway near your house or further from your house?
It's to the left of my home.
Is it on the closer side of their home or the further side of their home from you?
It's on the corner, and then their home is facing on the other side of the corner.
And what, if you were on the Harrington driveway, if you know, what would, and you were looking across the street, what would you be looking at?
Canerio home.
Now, that vehicle, the vehicle you saw, did it stay in the area you first saw it, or what?
I don't recall. I remember seeing it, and then at some point it wasn't there.
When you made observations of that, you first made observations of that vehicle, was the fire going in the backyard yet?
I believe so.
Okay. Because I want to just be clear, though, when you first looked outside your window that morning, how long was it until you saw the first evidence of fire in the backyard?
It must have been minutes.
I asked you if you had any conversations with any of the Caneros that morning, and you said no, correct?
No. Mhm.
Did you ever make any observations of them at all, without speaking to them? Did you see them?
At some point after the emergency vehicles were there, I saw the Caneiro Porsche SUV parked outside across the street between Marilyn and the other neighbor's home.
Again, you didn't speak to them, correct?
No.
So they were across the street, so on the Caneiro, Maryland side of the house?
Yes.
The two men that were in the street, did you have any feelings or did you have any thoughts as to whether or not they were associated with the vehicle that was between the Harringtons and your house?
I don't know.
The person who went to the door, the Caneiro door, did you see if that person ever went inside or you don't know?
I never saw him go inside.
I wonder if that's going to be our next witness.
Now, as far as the observations you made, did you call 911 as a result of what you saw?
No.
Did you relay the information to anyone as you were saying it?
My husband.
But ultimately, based upon your observations, did police and fire arrive at the area of 2017, remember?
Yes.
Was it long or short from when you first started describing those observations and seeing those things?
I believe my statement said 20 to 30 minutes.
And during the course of that time, was the fire going for the entirety?
Yes.
Judge, I have nothing further.
Cross. Ma'am, if you could do me a favor, in the corner, right where it says 9:45, there's something that says undo. You see that? Can you just hit that until the box goes away? It's in a black area.
Oh, I see it.
Thank you.
Morning, Ms. Kapp.
Morning.
So you referenced your statement a couple times on direct. I believe in my statement it said this. Is it fair to say that you've recently reviewed your statement, is that fair?
Yes.
And is it also fair to say you're relying on information in your statement because the information in your statement was given much closer in time to when this happened than present day?
Yes.
So obviously your memory was better then than it might be today if you were trying to recollect all those years ago.
Yes.
Okay. And you also referenced your statement a couple times, and I think the prosecutor got into it a little bit, but you gave 2 statements in this case?
Yes.
And the first statement you gave was on December 3rd of November 24th of 2018, correct?
I'd have to see that. I don't recall the date.
Would seeing a copy of the statement refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Do you have it?
I do.
Do you have both?
Defense, do you ever have any of your own products ready to go?
I'm going to show you, first I'm going to show you what's been marked as D67 for identification. May I approach?
You can.
Showing you a copy of your original statement, and I'm just going to direct, you recognize this as your original statement?
It's a summary of a statement I gave, yes.
Okay. I'm just going to direct your attention here where it shows the date. If you want to just read it to yourself and then let me know when you're ready. Just the date.
The date, yes. Okay.
All right, so this statement was given on Saturday, November 24th, 2018, correct?
That's what it says.
And that was 4 days after the fire happened at 27 Tilton, correct?
Correct.
And just to be clear, the prosecutor was referencing this as the Caneiro home, right?
Yes.
And we're talking about Paul's home, right?
Yes.
Okay, Paul Caneiro, not Keith Caneiro, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so you give this statement on November 24th, 4 days after, and the prosecutor characterized it as to a law office. It was to like a private investigator, correct?
Yes.
Who was hired by a law office,
Correct.
right, from Mr. Caneiro?
Yes.
It was not the police department or the prosecutor's office or anything like that.
Correct.
Now, after you gave a statement to that investigator, you were then interviewed almost maybe like 3.5 weeks later. It was on December 17th of 2018. Do you recall that?
If that's the date of the statement.
Would seeing a copy of the statement refresh your memory as to the date?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to approach with what's been previously marked as S81. And you said you've seen your statement before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you recognize this to be your statement?
Yes.
And this is the, so let's see, it's a 9-page statement. It has your signature at the bottom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you reviewed it at the time, you've reviewed it since?
Yes.
And I'm going to just direct your attention to the date.
December 17th, 2018.
Okay. So you gave 2 statements, first to the private investigator and then a few weeks later to the prosecutor's office.
Yes.
Okay. And as you mentioned when you were questioned on direct, the reason you're here is because there were certain observations that you made that morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the first observation that you made that morning was actually auditory?
Yes.
You heard something?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. And what you heard were, you testified on direct, you heard voices outside.
Yes.
Okay. And those were the voices of 2 men, correct?
Turned out to be 2 men, yes.
Okay. And they were speaking in a little bit of like a kind of excitedly? Is
Yes.
that how you would characterize it?
Yes.
Okay. And when you heard the voices, you got up and you looked out your window?
I checked my clock and then I got up out of my bed and went to my window. Yes.
So you checked your clock first?
Yes.
And the clock
100% she was about to yell at someone to shut the hell up. I mean, I would, like 4 a.m. I generally wake up. That's kind of my normal wake up time, but I do understand. And even I don't wake up chipper and, perky every morning, even though 4:30 is my wake up time.
said 4:30.
Yes.
And so at 4:30, you check your clock, and then you get up and you look out the window?
Yes.
And when you look out the window, that's when you actually see the 2 men.
Yes.
And what you described was, so there's 1 man, and you said originally they're in the middle of the street?
We were running in the middle of the street.
Running in the middle of the
towards
street,
Canerio.
towards the Caneiro home,
Yes.
Paul Caneiro's home. And at that point, did they separate?
At some point, they separated to go.
1 man goes up to the front door, you said?
Yes.
And he's banging on the door?
Yes.
Okay. And you heard the banging?
Yes.
But you didn't hear any response or anything like that?
No.
The second man is going, can we put up that photo again with the driveway and
13, slide 13, is that the one you're looking for?
Yeah, did you pay attention, defense?
The second man, you stated, is kind of like right by, almost maybe, you said by that white truck?
He went up Maryland's driveway, sort of by the white truck, yes.
Okay. And he's crouching down?
He's kneeling, yes.
He's kneeling. And he's shining a flashlight toward where you then observe the fire?
Yes.
And it's like a small fire at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
From what I can see.
And at some point it gets bigger?
Yes.
And again, I think you testified to this a few times, but it was about 20 to 30 minutes before you saw first responders arriving.
That's what my statement said, yes.
Okay. And that's the statement you gave within a few days of this happening, right?
Yes.
And you described the two men as wearing dark colored clothing.
Yes.
And you said they were wearing, both of them were wearing like a baseball style hat?
Yes.
And so they weren't in like any type of uniform that you could tell?
Not that I can tell.
And when you said flashlights, were you able to see the flashlight or you just saw light?
I just saw a light.
So you're not sure if it was like a handheld old school flashlight or like a cell phone flashlight? Were you able to tell that?
No.
You just saw that there was some sort of light that they were using?
Yes.
Nick should definitely license and sell the Machete. I think people would use it, and it would be instantly noticeable. Makes sense.
You know, the car you saw, you said it was a older model car, correct?
It appeared to be an older model four-door, yes.
Older model four-door, was it like a sedan?
I believe so.
And how long would you say the man was banging at the front door for?
I couldn't say. A while.
While. And when you saw the man kneeling by that white truck and pointing his flashlight toward the fire, he was just watching the fire?
Yes.
Okay, he wasn't like doing anything with the fire. He was just watching it.
Just kneeling.
And how long do you think he was doing that for?
A good amount of time. I don't really know.
A good amount of time?
I mean, this is rather
And you
suspicious.
said that-
This is probably the first kind of hint or anything that there might have been other people involved in this. Now, my guess is that the state is very promptly, after this witness, going to bring in the two witnesses that were trying to alert the Caneiro family to the fire in their home. Now, the defense is doing a really good job of making this seem very shady, but my guess is the state will have the two guys that were trying to alert the family as the next two witnesses.
By the time you saw the first fire SUV that pulled onto your front lawn, by that time the men were gone.
The men were no longer in the same positions that I was watching them.
And did you ever see them again that morning?
I don't believe so.
Because while I've been giving the defense an extremely hard time for the fact that Ponytail can't do anything right, if the state did not look into these people, the two random people that this witness saw, then that would be a gross kind of neglectful thing, a gross negligence in this investigation. Now, I doubt that in bringing this case, they didn't identify or try to identify these two people. But if they did, then I'll have to give a point to the defense because these are two people that would have been very important to try to talk to. Kim K, read the stuff before the day in court.
Because in one statement you said 20, in another statement you said 30. So it's like you're kind of saying it could be either one.
Could be, I didn't keep checking my clock.
And you didn't see their faces, right?
No.
And so they were like average men, average build.
I believe so.
I'm going to. Just excited. It was kind of hasty, and they were talking very fast.
Yes, from what I heard, yes.
But they weren't yelling or anything.
I wouldn't categorize it as yelling, however, it was very quiet in the middle, very early morning, so.
And you also, the prosecutor asked you about dogs barking. You didn't hear any dogs barking?
No.
Okay. And you've seen the dogs around the neighborhood?
Yes.
That was during the day?
Yes.
Okay. But this is happening at 4:30 in the morning, correct?
Yes.
You have no knowledge of where those dogs were at 4:30 in the morning, correct?
No.
Assuming they were in the home, you don't have any idea where in the home those dogs were?
No.
Objection, Judge.
Sustained. Speculation.
And just to be, you said the car you saw was a sedan. It wasn't like a pickup truck.
No.
And you don't remember the color of the car?
I don't.
And you don't know if that car was associated with the two individuals, but you saw the two individuals running from the direction of that car.
Yes.
I'm going to approach the witness with what's been previously marked as D1-100 and D-101.
Make sure that's plugged in.
Do you recognize these two photos to be a map of the area of 27 Tilton Drive and where you lived at the time?
Can I touch?
Yeah.
Yes.
And these are the same maps. Would you agree these are the same area, except this one is like a street view and this one's more like the regular map view?
Yes.
Okay. If I put these maps on the screen, would you be able to like circle which one is your house?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start first with the regular map. Okay. So again, do you recognize this map to be the area of 27 Tilton Drive?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see 27 Tilton Drive marked on the map?
Yes.
Okay. Would you agree that that accurately represents 27 Tilton Drive?
I believe so.
Okay. Can you just put like a small circle or X on your house? And that would be 24?
Yes.
Record sheet, put a circle around it.
And can we just put like a little H for Heather or C for Cap, whichever you prefer, just so we know it's your house?
Use a C, please, just in case.
Perfect. Okay. And I'm going to ask that you do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to ask that you do the same thing on D dash. Oh, do you have to? You didn't get it? Okay.
We're gonna wait. We wait until you're done. Okay, so we're gonna print this. This is D1 slide 100.1 now. You're good now.
Thank you.
Sure.
So, Ms. Cap, I'm just going to ask that you do the same thing for this map, which is if you want to hit the undo button, we can get rid of the circle and see. I think if you hold it down, it undoes everything. Okay. So here's the street view. We see, do you see 27 Tilton Drive on there as well?
Yes,
Okay. And these actually have house numbers. Is that correct?
yes,
And you see 24 on there?
Yes.
That's your house, right?
yes.
Can you just circle that one? Or you know what, maybe just put a C over it for cap. Okay, perfect. And so we can now see where your house is in relation to 27 Tilton, correct?
Yes.
What's the marking on the back of that?
This is D-1-10. This is 100. And this is 101. Street view is 100 and regular view is 101.
So regular view, which was the last one, should be 100 and 1.1, and this one will be 100.1.
Yes.
Oh,
The prior picture will be 101.1, so it's D1, slide 101.1, or picture 101.1, and this one will be D1, slide 100.1.
I'm going to return back to,
up with all of the defense's ridiculousness. Poor man.
oh, do you mind hitting the undo button? I'm just going to return back to D-1-101. So you indicated that this accurately represents the area of 27 Tilton, right?
Yes.
And we see 27 Tilton is like this this U shape. Do you agree with that?
That's Tilton Drive. Yes.
Right. Tilton Drive is like a U shape,
Yes.
and it intersects with Green Grove Road, which we see on the image as well.
Yes.
Okay. So there's 2 points by which you could enter and exit onto Tilton Drive or out of Tilton Drive from Green Grove Road. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And do you mind just circling the 2 areas, the intersections? Okay,
Still don't get the sweater set.
we can make this.
101.2. D1.
Okay, so what we can glean from this map is, let's say you're at 27 Tilton Drive, right? You can exit Tilton Drive through the
No, this is the defense. So she is for defense. This is cross-examination. And I think what she's trying to get out there, because the defense is claiming that Paul was set up by his brother Corey, whom the state didn't really look into because Corey was, again, generally on the outside. He didn't have business accounts with Keith. He didn't have any money that he'd stolen from Keith. He wasn't, as intertwined as both Keith and Paul were. So, yeah, it's a bit off.
intersection we see on the top of the screen, right? You can make a right or a left, and that would be this one, or you could exit or enter Tilton Drive at this intersection. You could make a right or a left, correct?
Yes.
And you never saw which way those 2 men went, whether they went left or right, ultimately.
No.
At the time that you made these observations, it was dark out. The sun had not come up yet.
It's 4:30. No, in November.
And we talked about how you gave a couple statements, and then you testified today. You've never wavered from the time frame of 4:30, which is when you looked at your.
Why do I feel like Kim Kardashian is looking at these statements like now instead of 2 weeks ago when she should have? I hope the power's gonna stay.
Okay, so just to be clear, 4:30 a.m., you wake up, you hear the voices, the two men, and then you look out your window and you see two men.
After checking my clock, yes.
After checking your clock. And then at some point you're watching the fire.
Yes.
And eventually, 20 to 30 minutes later, that's when you see the responders.
Yes.
Okay. No other questions?
Two questions. Just to be clear, you said you lost track of the two men, correct?
I did, yes.
Did you actually see them leave?
No.
Did you, or did you not see that vehicle leave?
No, I didn't see it leave.
Okay, nothing.
Anything else?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, you can step down, ma'am. Thank you. Just be careful. You can leave the document right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our mid-morning break. It's about 10 minutes after 10. We'll start back at...
I love speeding through the brakes.
Sir, could you put your left hand on the Bible there? Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can sit down. Once you're comfortable, can you state your full name for the record and spell your last name, please?
Jonathan Harrington, Harrington.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure you speak up loud enough so juror numbers 15 and 16 can hear you in the corner. Okay, sir?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Prosecutor?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Harrington, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you tell us where you live, I guess currently?
26 Tilton Drive,
Okay, and how long have you lived there?
since 1994.
Okay. Now, I want to draw your attention back to November 20th of 2018. Do you remember that morning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, at that point in time, were you still working?
No, I was retired.
Okay. And what did you do for a living?
I was a crane operator.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question about whether or not at some point that morning you were alerted to a residential fire in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay, and how did that happen? How were you alerted?
By the noise of the vehicles coming and the flashing red lights of a vehicle that was next door.
When you first heard any noises around your house, where were you specifically?
I was in my bedroom.
Okay. Where specifically in your bedroom were you?
I was laying in my bed.
So you were lying in bed. What did you hear?
There were loud voices in the street, and couldn't really tell what they were saying or anything.
Okay. And did you immediately get up?
No, I did not get up then.
Okay. Tell us what happened.
Well, after that, I was just, casually laying in bed. I wasn't going to go back to sleep. And then
This man has learned the miracle of not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem. Because I'd be a nosy MFer. Like, I see something going on. I am vacuuming my front lawn, okay? I'm out there cutting the lawn with skizzers just to hear the gossip. And this man is like, not my circus, not my problem. I'm just going to stay in bed. I need to be like this man instead of, I knowed it all along. They were up to something no good.
I noticed that there were some red lights flashing, okay? And I opened my shade, and I looked across the street, and there was a vehicle in my neighbor's driveway, which was next to the house in question.
When you say neighbor, who's your neighbor?
Marilyn Klein.
Okay. So you got out of bed at some point, as you described, and you went to your window. Can you tell us generally what you can see when you look out your window?
Yes, I can see Canerio's house from the south side to just before the garage.
Can you see any other homes when you look directly out your window in the bedroom?
Only Marilyn's.
Okay. So you can see, you said Marilyn's, correct? And then you also referenced the Canerio house, correct? Now, you look outside, that's what you can see generally. What specifically did you see that morning?
Okay, when I opened the shade, I saw someone, to me, looked like they grabbed the fire extinguisher and was going to walk into the front of the house, the door.
That person, I mean, did you specifically see a fire extinguisher or what?
I would say.
Yes, this is a neighbor for Paul's house. So it looks like we're going to be starting our kind of criminal timeline, maybe where the investigation started. So this all kind of started when police were looking into, it was very evidently an arson or an assisted fire at Paul's house. Because at this moment, they don't realize that Keith's house over in Colt's Neck is burning or smoldering. So no one's been made aware of that. This is fairly early in the morning over by Paul's house. So maybe this person will be able to give us better perspective of times, or maybe something that he noticed.
That's basically what I saw, yes.
Okay. And that person, where did you first see that person?
That was the person that parked the vehicle in Marilyn's driveway.
Okay. Now, that person approached where, you said?
The front door?
Okay. And did you watch that person once they got to the front door?
I wouldn't say that I did. No, I don't know whether he went inside. I don't remember that.
Did you make observations, just to be clear, of that person approaching the front door?
What do you mean by observations?
Did you see that person near the front door?
Oh, yes, on the porch, going toward, right in front of them.
With respect to the front door, and I don't know if I specifically asked you, which house's front door are we talking about?
The Canerio house.
Okay. And before we go any further, did you know the people that lived in that house?
Yes,
And how many people lived there based upon your understanding back in 2018?
4.
And who were they?
It was Paul, his wife Susan, and the 2 girls.
Did you know their names at the time?
Yes.
Now, once you made the observation of the person near the Canerio front door, what if anything did you see?
I think at that point in time, to tell you the truth, I didn't really think much about it. I probably just, turned around and, maybe I sat on the bed or something like that. And it wasn't until I heard the approaching fire apparatus that I got back up.
Okay. So, just to go back a step,
Okay.
when you first approached your bedroom window, I think you referenced doing so because of some lights, correct?
Yes.
Could you tell us what specifically in that regard you saw? Did you see lights once you went to the window?
That's why I got up, because I saw the flashing lights.
Did you see any flashing lights out your window once you looked?
That I don't think I did.
Okay. So then you see a vehicle, as you said, up in Marilyn's driveway?
Correct. That was the vehicle.
That person approached the front door.
Correct.
Now, at any point in time, did you observe any smoke or flames?
Shortly after that, yes, there appeared to be just smoke on the backside, on the right, which would be me facing the house. There was some smoke. No flames at that moment.
When you saw the smoke, just to be clear, were you still in your bedroom?
Yes.
At some point in time, did you go anywhere else?
I don't think so.
Did you ever leave your bedroom?
Eventually, yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay. Basically, what I did was, when I heard the trucks, okay, this is after the smoke, so then there was a glow behind the house, which I assumed was a fire at that time. So I got dressed, went to the bathroom, came downstairs, put a coat on, opened the garage door, and went outside.
Okay. And once you did all that and you went outside, can you tell us what was going on in the area at that time?
Well, the fire trucks were setting up, okay? Oakhurst was on the north side of the building, okay? There was police cars around. There was the Wanamassett Fire Department was to the south.
Now, when you talk about fire departments, and do you have any experience with fire departments? Just to be clear?
I was a firefighter in Allenhurst.
Volunteer?
Yes.
Let's see. I think we are
Now,
about 16 to
once you're
18.
outside and you see the fire trucks, like, what's the status of what you can observe fire-wise across the street?
Oh, the fire was starting to come up above the roof line on the backside.
Fair to say that you can't actually see all of the fire from where you were,
All I
right?
could see were the flames coming up.
I just want to approach you with what's been marked as S1A. If I may, Judge?
You got
Just going to show you pretty briefly. It's been marked as S1A, slide 9. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
That's the house, Canerio house.
Okay. Now, does that fairly and accurately depict, or show what it looked like around the time of November 20th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. That you recognize that?
Yes, that's no problem.
Let me show you slide 10 briefly. Do you... Here in this...
And we're seeing a white truck and a like Chief.
Okay.
And this is the car I regionally saw.
Okay, what type of vehicles, just generally, are those two vehicles, if you know?
To me, one's a truck and one's like a Suburban SUV.
Do they have any correlation, based upon what you saw or know, to, police or fire?
I could not tell whether this was where where I saw the guy get the fire extinguisher and go into the house, the white vehicle.
Okay,
And that's where I kind of think the lights were coming from.
okay. So, to be clear, I don't want to put anything in your
No.
head. So when you made an observation of the vehicle in Maryland's driveway, did you know it was a first responder, or did you not know? At the
I
time?
thought it was, yes.
Okay. Now, was it light or dark out when you were making the observations out your window?
It was probably dark. I shouldn't say dark, but, like, wasn't dark.
Sure.
So it was nighttime. There wasn't really any lights other than street lights, things like that I remember.
And just to be clear, I want just to be completely clear, when you first heard anything outside your window that morning, did you tell the police what time approximately you thought it was?
I probably said sometime between 4:30 and 5, because I didn't look at any timepieces in my, the only clock that I have is the cable box has the time on it, but I just really didn't look at it. It was specific.
I don't know. This guy seems like a hoot and a half. He probably goes out like deep sea fishing with his jacket to catch, I don't know, swordfish or marlin. Are they the same thing? I don't know. He just seems like he's a cool guy. He's like, yeah, I wasn't looking at the time. Look, I'm retired. I didn't have anywhere to go. I wasn't gonna get up.
Like when I gave my statement.
Okay, now, your initial observations from the window, were they, did they include what's depicted in slide 10?
This one.
Yes.
This car was not there.
No, and I'm sorry, that's a good, to be clear, that's a good point. In slide 10, there's two vehicles in the driveway, correct?
Correct.
How many were there when you made your observations first? Okay. But as far as like what is shown in this photo, let's say what that is. Whose house is this in slide 10, in the majority of slide 10?
That's a Canerio house.
And is there another house that's somewhat depicted in that photograph?
Yes, that's Marilyn Klein's house.
Okay. I'm just going to show you lastly slide 12 of S1A.
See, counsel, very quickly. Take a second.
Interesting. I wonder if it's the way he's saying Caneiro, because he's saying Canerio, or, which, to be fair, I have said the last name various different ways until I actually heard them say it in the trial, because I was like, Caneiro, Caneiro, Cano. So
I want to go back for 1 second. Can I have slide S1A, slide 9 on the screen, please? I'm sorry. Now, you see this screen in front of you, correct?
Yes.
And we talked about this photograph.
Yes.
If you look to your left, you can see it on the large screen. Up there.
Oh, okay.
Same photo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about this photo, and to be clear, what's depicted in this photograph? What can you see there?
Just the whole house.
Whose house?
Canerio's house.
When you say Canerio's house, you mentioned someone by the name of Paul Caneiro previously.
Paul and Susan.
How long did you know Paul Caneiro?
Basically from the time they moved in,
How many years was that, approximately?
I would say probably 18 to 20. I don't know exactly when they bought the house.
Paul Caneiro, is that
bless his heart. He is me. Known him for 20 years, never said their name right once. Bless his heart.
that person present in court today?
Yes.
Could you just point him out?
He's to my right here.
Identifies the defendant.
Now back to that photo. Is what's shown in that photograph, slide 9 of S1A, is that part of what you were able to see out your window the morning of November 20th, 2018?
Part of it, yes.
Now, can we talk about that? I'm going to show you briefly slide 10 of that same exhibit. Did I show you that earlier?
Yes.
Okay. And how many vehicles are shown in that photograph?
2.
And to be clear, how many vehicles were there when you first looked out your window that morning?
I believe I only saw one.
Okay.
Like I testified.
Would it be fair to say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that this photograph was taken later when it was
Yes.
light out? Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I was talking over you, sorry. And then lastly, can I just have slide 12 of S1A?
Oh, yikes.
That photograph we talked about, I believe.
Yeah, do stay safe, you guys. Actually, I'm doing this so I can keep myself occupied. But stay safe, stay warm, and yeah, ice is really dangerous. So I hope everyone can stay safe and warm. And thank you in advance to the linemen who I know were already staging up to try to get people who do lose their power back quickly. So fingers crossed for everyone.
I showed it to you. What's that photograph show?
It shows like a fire captain or chief's car
Okay.
and a house.
And that's not a specific observation that you made when you first looked out the window, correct?
I do not believe so. It's just I only saw the white vehicle, if I can remember correctly.
Now, when you left your house that day and you went out to the driveway, you talked about observing smoke and then flames, correct?
Correct.
Now, did you ever make any observations of any of the Canerio family?
My only observation of them, what I saw was that I spoke to both Paul and Susan and the girls in his SUV, which was parked close to my driveway. It's a little bit later, but it was about the same time that the fire was going on.
Okay, so when you came out onto your driveway, did you see the Canerio SUV at that time or later or something else?
I believe it was just a little bit later. Not very much later, though.
Now, do you know who your neighbor is? You know, if you're looking at the Canerio in Marilyn's house, do you know who your neighbor is on your side to your right?
Yes, those are the caps.
Does that include Heather Cap?
Yes.
Now, where was the Canerio vehicle, once you saw it, whenever that was, where was it in relation to your house and the Cap's house?
I thought it was a little bit farther towards the Cap house.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not quite sure now, only because I remember that the one of Master fire truck had pulled up and connected to the fire hydrant, which is very near there. So I think it was before my house.
Okay. At any point in time, did you have conversations specifically with Paul Caneiro that morning?
Yes.
And tell us about the conversation. Why were you talking?
I walked down and I spoke to him and the girls, and I asked them, how they were doing, and Paul was a little nervous. He was kind of upset, which I kind of thought was just the fire, and he remarked to me that he was scared that he almost lost his wife with the fire.
Just to clarify, was he emotional?
Yes.
Did he say anything to you about how the fire started or anything along those lines?
Nothing like that.
I have nothing further, Judge.
Cross.
Okay, defense.
Mr. Harrington, good morning.
Good morning.
Your involvement in this case, going back a little more than 7 years ago, you spoke to numerous law enforcement officers. Is that correct?
I
can be more specific. Let me try to be more specific.
Okay.
Originally, when all of the police were arriving, there was an officer that you spoke to kind of like in your garage area. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And you actually had told him that you were a former firefighter, right?
I guess.
Okay. And he was a uniformed officer.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember his name. It was Officer Bones. No. Okay. You also spoke to, at some point, I think, like a detective on scene. It was Detective Brady. Do you remember that?
I remember Detective Brady, yes.
And what about Fire Marshal Flanagan? Do you remember speaking to him?
I might have.
Okay. And eventually, on November 24th, you were interviewed by a private investigator who worked for the defense. Do you remember that?
Yes, I think there was one person who came up and spoke to me.
About what happened that morning?
Yes.
And after that, you eventually gave a statement, or you did give a statement to the prosecutor's office. That was Detective Weiss Barton Brady. That was on November 27th of 2018, so another few days later. Do you remember
A few
that?
days later, yes. They
That's
asked if
more-
I would go to the police station and give a statement about what I saw.
And that was like a more formal type statement?
Yes.
Okay, and that was a week later, right?
Approximately, yes.
So
Where are we going with
initially,
this, Kim K?
what you testified to today on direct, if I understand it, is that you're in bed, right?
Correct.
And you hear voices?
Loud voices, yes.
Loud voices. And those voices were multiple voices?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. And they were men, right?
I couldn't tell you whether they were men or women.
Okay. And so do you recall telling the police that they were male voices? Actually, do you recall?
If you read it, I could probably remember.
Let's go back to this. You previously gave a statement to the private investigator, correct?
I talked to him, yes. I wouldn't say it was a statement. It was more like a casual interview while I was outside.
Okay. If I showed you a copy of
He's like, I was topless. It was tasteful. I was trying to get some sun.
his summary of your interview, would that help refresh your recollection of some of the things you said to him?
We're talking 7 years ago.
Right, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna approach
My
with
ears were
E70.
2 sizes smaller than.
Which I had never seen before.
Okay. I'm all right.
Okay.
I just want you to
This man has spent his retirement watching trials. He wants to be very clear on the record what happened. On the record, for the record, run the record back. Per Daryl Brooks, you know.
to take a look at this and review it and see if this refreshes your recollection as to what you told the investigator on October 24th, 2018 about who you heard speaking.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. If I said males, it could have been correct.
Okay, and again, like you said, you probably remembered a lot better then than you do now.
Oh, sure. I mean, time degrades everything.
Of course. And when you gave a statement to the prosecutor's office,
He's probably a good, great neighbor. You know, he probably, clears off people's yards and everything.
I can show this too if you'd like as well. Now, this one you have seen before, right?
Yes, I've seen them.
Okay, so I'm going to approach with what's been marked for identification as SED2. Mr. Harrington, this is a copy of your statement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have you, if you flip to the last page,
Okay.
I'm just going to show you that it is 5 pages.
Yes,
And it
okay.
has, this one has your signature on it.
Yes, it does.
So, and it also has your initials on the bottom, right?
Yes.
Because this one you reviewed at the time,
Yes.
and you wanted to make sure it was accurate, right?
I don't know whether that was the same day or not, but yeah, that's accurate.
No, I'm saying the reason they had you review it and assign it and initial it
Yes,
was so
because
that
it was pretty accurate. Within reason, yes, I agree.
these were your words, right?
Yeah, I guess.
When you look at this statement, it's like question, answer,
Right.
right? Do you agree that these are the questions that they asked you and these were your answers?
If they're written there, that would be what I answered.
Okay.
In the question.
So I'm going to direct your attention to here, and if you could just read that to yourself and then just look up.
Okay.
Okay,
I see it.
so in addition to telling the investigator on November 24th that you heard male voices, you also characterized the voices as male to the prosecutor's office as well.
That's correct.
Okay. And you said you heard them speaking kind of loudly, or but maybe not yelling, right? Or
No, there was, to me, it was very loud.
Very loud.
Whether you call it yelling or not, that would be, I'll try to figure it out. But
Subjective is what
no,
you're saying.
Yes, it was one voice. I see, I said,
it
two
wasn't.
minutes.
Okay. And when you heard the voices, you were lying in bed,
Yes, that's true.
and you didn't hear specifically what they said, did you?
I did not.
Okay. And then you said, I think, is it fair to say you kind of like fell back asleep for a little while?
Well, I let me put it this way. I probably just laid down with my head on the pillow because I usually don't go back. Once I'm awake, I usually don't go back to sleep. It might be a light sleep, dozing off back and forth.
Again, I understand you're testifying right now to what you usually do, but I'm
Yes.
going to direct your attention
Okay.
once again, just back to, this is the statement you gave to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yes.
And you told them, I fell back asleep.
Well, I also said up here that it was a light state of sleep. Okay, so when I say sleep, it wasn't really going in.
This man he's very accurate and he's very particular. So, yeah, I like this guy because he's like, no, I clarified the state of sleep I was in.
To a REM type of sleep. It was just being, my eyes closed, being, like light sleep. I don't know how else to explain it,
Gotcha.
Any noise, anything. Just to clarify, I don't sleep very well anyway, so
Okay.
it would only be a light sleep that
Okay.
I'm talking about here. They're not incongruous, okay? They're both the same to me.
Got it. So you're in a light state of sleep, and specifically at around 4:30 in the morning, right?
Well, yes, because as I said previously, I don't have a watch on or a clock in my bedroom. The only time that I can tell is what's on the cable box, okay? So if I said 4:30, maybe I glanced at it and that was the time that I recollected that it was around 4:30. But it could have been later than 4:30, between 4:30 and 5, that's what I said, you know.
Okay.
I don't know the exact time because I'm not looking at a timepiece.
I'm going to try to ask you just a very simple yes or no question, okay? You told both the private investigator and the prosecutor's office the week that this happened that you heard these voices at around 4:30 in the morning.
Yes,
You did, okay. And when you spoke to the officer on scene,
Come on, Snooky, hurry up. I'm gonna need you to have
because so, let me back up for a second. So, okay, so you're in a light state of sleep.
defense. Stop backing up. You are on quicksand to begin with. You're heading backwards into lava. You have had no solid foundation yet. You keep taking these steps back like it's going to get you onto solid ground, but you weren't there to begin with.
It's around 4:30 in the morning. You hear the voices. You fall back into maybe a light state of sleep, and then you eventually wake up when you see lights. Is that right?
correct,
And that's when you go to your window,
correct.
and you start seeing what exactly?
That's when I saw the vehicle in Marilyn Klein's driveway, okay? And the person get out and walk towards the house with what I assumed was a fire extinguisher.
And the prosecutor showed you the photo of the vehicle. There was like a white vehicle and a red vehicle.
But the white vehicle is the one I saw.
You saw the white vehicle.
Yes, I believe so.
You did not see the red one.
I don't believe I did.
Okay. So you see the white vehicle once you get up and look out your window. Is that
Yes.
right? Okay. And how long after that until you eventually come outside?
I would say, well, time-wise, it's hard because I don't, as I said to you, I don't have the time in mind specifically because I wasn't looking at the time. So by the time I got dressed, went to the bathroom, went downstairs, got my coat on, my hat, walked to the garage, opened the garage door, and went outside. Could have been anywhere between 7, 8, 10 minutes, something like that.
Okay, when you
seems
went
pretty
outside,
normal.
you saw at least 2 police cars, correct?
I saw police cars, yes.
Okay. And that was at around 5 a.m., correct?
Around, somewhere in the general time frame,
Okay. You told the prosecutor's office it was approximately 5 a.m., fair?
approximately 5 a.m.
That's what he just said.
So, hear voices, multiple male voices at approximately 4:30 a.m., and then light state of sleep, fall back to sleep. About a half hour later, it's 5 a.m., and that's when you see the 2 police officers outside of your house, right? When you go outside.
You're kind of putting words in my mouth.
Okay.
I said approximately 4:30, and if you listen to what I hopefully I said was sometime between 4:30 and 5, okay? That's a half hour without really looking at a clock or anything else like that. It was a generalization of the time frame and all this was going on.
When you say I'm putting words in your mouth, approximately 4:35, are you talking about when you initially heard the voices or when you saw the police?
No, you said 4:30. I'm not arguing with you, but you said that I said 4:30. I said approximately between 4:30 and 5. It could have been 4:45, okay? You understand what I'm saying? I used...
Yes, tell her. Tell her. I don't know why we're having this conversation. It's pedantic and it's not really moving us forward, but I like seeing this man put Snooky in her place, which probably says more about me than it does about Snooky, but what are you going to do?
4:30 as a baseline for me.
Okay. You used 4:30 as approximately 4:30,
Approximately,
right, as a
yes.
baseline when you spoke to the private investigator on November 24th and when you spoke to the prosecutor's office on November 27th. You said
Correct.
that's approximately when you heard the male voices, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then at approximately 5 a.m., that's when you were outside and you saw the police, you saw the 2 police officers. Is that accurate?
Close.
That's what you told the
That's what I
prosecutor's
told them,
office.
yes, but I'm just saying that's about right. Again, I don't have a clock
Can
to
we
go
be,
by.
let's be clear, when we say approximately, we're not talking about to the minute, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
correct.
I'm not putting words in your mouth when I say approximately because we agree that we're talking about within a few minutes at least, right? We're not talking about to
There
the
was a
second.
few minutes here and there,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
All right. And
I'm glad we wasted time to get over to clarify this for the record, on the record, run the record back.
At 4:30 a.m. approximately,
Thank you.
you did not see any lights, right?
No,
Okay, just heard the voices.
just the voices.
And eventually, when you come outside and you're speaking to the
Sir, so you weren't blinded by the light, shook up like a something in the middle of the night? I always want to say peach fuzz, but I know that's not the word. I also don't remember what band sings that, but now I have it in my head.
officer in your garage. Again, you remember that conversation.
I
Maybe you don't
really came
remember.
up to the garage, yes.
Okay. And do you remember speaking with him?
Yes,
Okay.
mostly a general
Shook
conversation.
up like
I mean,
a
the
goose in
specific
the
that I
middle of the
remember
night,
was,
but-
do you have something that he said?
Actually, I do, and I have something you said. You told that officer, right, that you heard people talking about a half hour before all of the police people got there. Do you recall saying that?
I probably did, if that's what I told him.
Okay.
If that's what he said, but again, I'm using, I just don't want you to put me into a time frame that locks me into something when I just told you that I didn't have a view of a clock anywhere, okay?
So at this
So
point.
if I'm talking 4:30, I'm talking 4:30 as the general time frame.
Right, we've agreed on that. Now, at this point, when you're speaking to the officer in your driveway, you actually don't mention a time, right? You say so that's approximately, about a half hour before all the police got there is when you heard the voices. That's what you told that officer, correct?
That's what he said, because I don't remember the conversation. I remember generally.
Okay, that makes less sense, but hey, cool. At least now that it's running through my head, I'll have the correct lyric, because it always just kind of mumbles that bit when it's in my head.
Talking to that.
So when you say if that's what he said, with seeing a transcript, he was uniformed, right?
Yes.
So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but the
Okay.
body-worn camera, it records the conversation
Okay,
and we have a
fine.
transcript. If I show you a transcript, would that refresh your memory of what you told
Sure.
him? Okay.
Unless this man, saw the other part of the Zapruder film, I don't know why we're spending this long on this.
Sir, the transcript just documents what is actually on the video.
Okay, it's fine.
So if the attorney is asking you something and they're saying that that's what's transcribed, that means that it's something that was on the actual recording.
Okay.
So in saying that, would you have any reason to disagree with that you had a conversation with a police officer? No one's trying to put you in a box. All we're trying to do is confirm with you that you had a conversation, and if Ms. Mastalone is saying this is what the transcript says, any reason to dispute it, all she wants to know is whether that's what you would have said or not, or to help you.
Sure.
Okay, that's
Because
it. I think that's what we're trying to do, and no one's trying to talk you into anything.
No, I understand that.
And
I love that Ken's become such a good person after he, got kind of, buried in popcorn, and, the other science nerds made him hear the voice of God through his braces. Real genius. Great movie. Val Kilmer before he, Val Kilmered himself.
just to move it along, so it's in that vicinity. And again, the timing is what you remember. It's all approximation. We got it.
Judge, I was just going to say that the state obviously would stipulate to the accuracy of the transcript that we created.
So of course, that's what I'm saying. So just trying to be helpful here and moving along this particular area.
The judge is like, good God. Can we move this forward?
Okay, so, sir, I'm going to approach with a copy of the transcript that we were just talking about. And I'm going to direct your attention. Well, first I'm going to show you the front page, okay? And you'll see there's like a legend.
What's it marked as, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is D102. The legend.
Love it, Cheetos.
And the legend has like everyone's name and the initials that represent who the person is.
Okay.
And do you see how JH means
Yep,
John Harrington?
that's me.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to direct your attention to, we're going to start on page 14 of 38.
All right.
Okay, but we're going to, so your initials start here.
All right, so she's just going to make the point again that there are two ways to get into the house and where he actually is.
Sir, just watch your step as you come up. Raise your right. Only square. Okay. Once you sit down and
Hello, and the defense can take however long they want with this. Objectification of males. How is it now? Any better? If it's doing this, we might have to call it a day because that might mean that our temporary fix. Okay, I'll keep it going for now. If it happens again, let me know because I'll probably have to end this stream and wait for the power company to come back out because it's a temporary fix. So we're hoping that it's just, a little bit of weather kerfuffle.
you're comfortable, can you state your full name for the record and spell your last name, please?
David Marino Jr., M-A-R-I-N-O.
Okay. Prosecutor, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Where are you employed?
Ocean Township Police Department.
In what capacity?
Police officer patrol.
How long have you been a police officer for?
I started my police career in 2013, and in 2015, I started in Ocean Township.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you to keep your voice up because I'm having trouble hearing.
2015, I started in Ocean Township, and that's when I started as a patrolman here.
Okay, now did you have to go to the police academy?
Yes, I did that in 2013. I went through with Belmar.
Okay, did you work anywhere after the police academy in your law enforcement capacity?
Yes, I worked in Belmar as a class 2, and after, correct, that was 2012 I went to the academy. I did 2012 to 13 in Belmar, and from there I went to Englishtown from 2013 to 2015 for 2 years, and then I got hired in Ocean Township.
What are your responsibilities as a...
Look, he always plays the kind-hearted, single father carpenter who teaches a corporate lady boss how to love again over Christmas. He teaches her the Christmas spirit and human kindness.
Patrolman with the Ocean Township Police Department?
We respond to any calls that come in, whether it be a motor vehicle accident, a domestic, or a theft. We're the first ones that normally will respond.
I want to draw your attention now back to November 20th of 2018. Do you recall that date?
Yes,
Were you on duty?
I was.
What shift were you working?
I was working night shift,
And what is the night shift?
7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Right. Now, while you were working during that time, were you driving a certain type of vehicle?
He's also an eyebrow model. I mean, those are probably the most expressive eyebrows I've seen in a while, and I'm kind of jealous because he always looks concerned/confused. And I always just look bitchy. So, I mean, nice eyebrows.
Yes, I believe it was in a Dodge Charger.
Okay, was it a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes, it was.
How were you dressed?
And I believe this uniform was in full Class A uniform.
Did you have, and the other officers, have radios?
Yes.
Okay, can you explain where those radios would be?
Our radios are on our hips and on our lapels. We can either keep it up here or we can keep them on our hips. And they're also in the vehicles.
And what did you use those radios for?
To communicate back and forth with dispatch and other officers to let them know where we are, what calls we're going to, and who needs to respond.
At 5:02 a.m., what, if any, notifications did you receive?
Possible structure fire
And how did you receive that notification?
via radio.
When you say you received a notification for possible structure fire, did you get any more information?
While I was responding, I'm not sure if I got anything extra from a working structure fire. Right before I arrived, another officer came on the radio stating that there was a structure fire confirmed, and that was the other information that I got.
Okay, did you learn where the structure fire was?
Yes.
Where was that?
It was on Tilton Drive.
Okay, and specifically, was there a house number?
27?
27 Tilton Drive? Did you say yes?
Yes.
Okay. How did that call initially come in?
It was a possible structure fire.
I guess what I'm asking is, when you received the notification at 5:02 a.m.,
Yes.
do you know how that call came in, how you got that notification?
It came from, I believe, county notified our dispatch, and then our dispatch notified us.
Okay, so what time was county notified?
I want to say, I believe it was 4:59.
Okay, so county's notified at 4:59, you get the dispatch at 5:02?
Yes,
Okay. As a result of receiving the dispatch, is that when you responded to 27 Tilton?
that is correct.
About what time did you arrive on scene to 27 Tilton Drive?
Approximately 3 to 4 minutes later, so 5:05, 5:06.
Now, were there any other officers already on scene when you arrived?
Yes, there was Patrolman Redmond and Patrolman Winkowski.
Was anyone else on scene when you arrived?
Yes, Fireman Chris Sorrentino.
Okay. What fire department was he from?
Wanted to want a mask.
Do you recall how he was dressed?
Plain clothes.
Who was the patrol sergeant in charge that morning?
That was Malone, Sergeant Malone.
Sergeant Malone, and when did he arrive?
He arrived, I'd say approximately within 5 to 10 minutes when I got there. In that time frame, I would think, 10 minutes.
Now, when you arrived, where did you park your vehicle in relation to 27 Tilton Drive?
I parked south, approximately a house and a half, 2 houses south of their residence, and I parked on the east side of the road.
So if you're facing their house, south would be to which
To
way?
the right.
To the right?
Correct.
And you said you were facing which way?
I was also facing, my vehicle was facing south.
South would be continue to the right?
To the right.
Okay. What, if any, observations did you make when you initially arrived on scene?
When I first arrived on scene, I was able to see that there was flames coming from the back right corner of the house. If you're looking at it, they were in the back area and they were engulfing a gas meter that was there.
As a result of those observations, what did you first do?
We contacted natural gas to come out to respond because it was engulfing the meter, and we also started evacuating nearby houses.
When you first made the observations of that back right corner where you say the fire was, who else was over there?
Over there was Winkowski and Sorrentino.
Okay, when you say Winkowski, the jury doesn't know. Who is he?
That's Patrolman Winkowski. He's a patrol officer with us.
With the Ocean Township Police Department?
Yes, he was on the scene as well.
And you said and Fireman Sorrentino was there?
Yes, Sorrentino was there as well.
Did you approach that area?
He has Fryberto eyes, and what I mean by that is, look, I'm comparing him to a puppy because he's much younger than me, and I'm a silver fox hunter, if anything, and I'm already taken, so I'm not hunting to begin with, but I still have eyes. Anyhoozle, I'm just saying, whenever he, gets into a relationship, it's gonna have to be someone that can say no to them eyeballs, because he looks like Fryberto begging for a bacon to me. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Maybe it's because he just looks confused with every question because his brow's all furrowed. I'm just like, oh, you poor guy, you need a bacon's. Yes, I am comparing this officer to my puppy, but in a good way.
Yes, I did. That was the first area I went to.
Okay. Now, did you have any concerns about that particular area based on the observations that you just told us about?
Yes, specifically the gas meter.
And what were your concerns about the gas meter?
Well, the gas line was right there, so the concern was that it could possibly explode or start leaking and make the fire that much worse. So we had to make sure we contained that.
Okay.
I am so sorry, Phoenix Fire. That's heartbreaking. Our fur babies become part of our family and our lives. I'm so sorry. And yeah, doggone it. I hate that for you. I'm so sorry.
After you called the gas company, what did you do?
After I called the gas company, I then walked across the street to where I spoke with Susan Canerio first, and I asked her to move her vehicle. So there was a vehicle parked across the street with people standing outside of it, and it was too close to the scene and the active fire. So I had to move further down the street, that way the fire engines and firefighters can come and do what they had to do in that front immediate area.
When you say parked across the street, it was parked across the street from where?
From their house.
From their house, okay. And which way would the vehicle have been facing?
It was facing south.
Okay. When you said you saw Susan Caneiro?
Yes.
Okay. When you saw her, where was she?
She was standing outside of her vehicle.
Okay. Near which side?
The driver's side.
The driver's side, okay. And what, if anything, did you ask her to do at that point?
I asked her to move her vehicle further down the road, so that way she wasn't in the main area.
Okay. And did she, in fact, move the vehicle further down the road?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. Do you remember where the vehicle was moved to?
They actually moved further down the road and parked right next to my vehicle.
Okay. So it would be further south?
Correct. They were north of my vehicle.
On which side of the street?
They were on the east side of the street.
Is that the side of the street that 27 Tilton is on?
Correct.
And was there a car facing 27 Tilton or facing a different direction?
It was facing, when they parked there, 27 Tilton.
Okay. Did you see anybody else in the car when you approached it and Susan was outside?
No, at that point I didn't.
No, you didn't see anyone else in the car?
No, I did not see anyone else in the car.
At some point, did you learn the occupants' names of 27 Tilton?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
There's Susan Caneiro, Paul Caneiro, Aiden Caneiro, and Marissa Caneiro.
Once the vehicle was moved, and I guess I should ask you, what type of vehicle was that?
It was a Porsche SUV, a white Porsche SUV.
Okay. Once the vehicle was moved, what, if anything, did you do?
After the vehicle was moved, I then had to I was walking around the perimeter, making sure that the scene was safe. And then shortly after that, I had to get their information.
Okay. Now, at any point on scene, did you see any of the officers making any efforts to do anything with regard to the neighboring houses?
Yes, they were trying to evac the houses. They were going knocking, seeing if anyone was home, because the surrounding nearby houses, they had to get everyone out of in case the fire started to spread.
Were there any other vehicles parked in the driveway of 27 Tilton that morning?
Yes.
Do you recall any of those vehicles?
Yes, there was a Jeep Wrangler, a Porsche, I believe 911, and then another Porsche SUV, I believe Macan.
Okay. You indicated a few minutes ago that at some point you said you spoke to the individuals in the car that moved?
Yes.
Okay, just who was that, to clarify?
I spoke with Susan Caneiro and Paul Caneiro.
When you spoke with them, was their car already moved from across the street? Were you...
Yes.
Okay. What was the purpose of your speaking with them?
To get their credentials, just to know who they were, who was inside of the house, and what happened that they saw before they exited the house.
Now, back in November of 2018, were you and other officers wearing body-worn cameras?
Yes, we were.
Okay. What was a body-worn camera?
Body-worn camera is a camera you wear normally in the center of your chest that's able to see everything and hear everything that you see and hear that could be documented later.
Did you have the opportunity, were you wearing it that morning?
Yes, I was.
Was it activated?
Yes, it was.
Did you have the opportunity to review that body-worn camera prior to today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what you reviewed, was it fair and accurate, an accurate depiction of what took place that morning?
Yes, it was.
And do you know if the conversation that you had with Paul Caneiro was captured on that body-worn camera that you just indicated?
It was.
Now, does the first minute and 30 seconds of your body-worn camera, does that capture your initial observations as to when you arrive on scene?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And were certain portions of your body-worn camera clipped for purposes of trial today?
Yes, they were.
I'm showing counsel what's been marked as S74. This is his body-worn camera. Judge, may I approach?
Okay.
I'm showing you what's been marked as S74. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what is that?
That is my body-worn camera footage.
Judge, the state would seek permission to publish right now the first minute and 30 seconds.
Any objection? You can.
That's not gonna work. That's not doing anything.
Can we stop for a second? Let's get the volume correct. Anna, can we turn the volume up? Thank you.
I'm a class.
That's not gonna work.
Officer, just explain to us, what are we looking at?
Right now is when I just exited my vehicle and I was walking towards 27 Tilton.
Okay, so just orient us if you could. You're walking toward 27 Tilton. Where would 27 Tilton be?
If you look in the top right corner, about midway down, you'll see a little bit of orange. That's actually the residence. I believe that's the smoke and the fire that you're seeing right now.
Okay, we'll pause at timestamp 0.03. What are those lights back there that you see on screen?
Those headlights, those are, I believe, the Porsches. The vehicle is parked across the street.
Okay, is that the vehicle you referred to before?
Yes, that's the one that Susan was in front of that I had removed.
Thank you, thank you.
That's not doing anything.
Pausing it at 0.17 seconds. It's blurry, but what are we looking at right now in that? If you're facing the screen, the sort of top right corner?
That is the back right corner of the house, and that is the fire that you're seeing coming up the side.
Sorry, who was that officer right there?
It's Charlie Winkowski.
Okay, thank you. And that was paused at 0.31 seconds.
Hey, you want me to get them out? Yes, yes. Get them out, we'll get the neighbor.
Yeah, I think that's
Start that neighbor's
I hope the
evacuated.
dogs were okay too.
Can you guys go some further away? See if there's a gas meter.
Who is this individual on scene at timestamp 54 seconds?
Susan Caneiro.
Okay, and the car that she's next to, is that the car you were referring to before?
Yes, it was.
And the car is facing in what direction?
It's facing south.
Okay, so get on the street. Man, over there? And across the street, things good? Yeah. Okay, I just moved them to get their arrest right now. Is anyone answering that?
Thank you. Was that the first minute, 30 seconds of your body worn camera?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Now, what other agencies responded to the scene shortly after that?
We had the Oakhurst Fire Department, Wanamassa Fire Department, and several EMS crews, I believe, arrived on scene.
Okay. Now, I know you said it before, but did there come a time when you spoke with the occupants in the car?
Yes, there was.
Okay, and about how much later was that from the time that you arrived on scene?
9 minutes.
Okay. Do you know if that conversation was captured on your body-worn camera?
It was.
Specifically, when you spoke to the occupants, did you speak to Mr. Caneiro?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did he make any statements to you?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, the state would seek to pass out the transcript of S75, which is the body-worn camera, 8 minutes, 20 seconds to 12 minutes, as well as publish that portion.
Any objection?
Can I just see? Yes, the transcript.
What's this marked as again, the transcript?
S75, Judge?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to provide you with a transcript. The transcript is an aid for you to look at, to understand what people are saying. However, it's your responsibility to listen, to watch the video, and you decide exactly what's being said or not said. So if you hear something different than what you hear see in the transcript, you actually would rely on your own recollection as to what you're seeing, because the evidence here will be the actual video, the body-worn camera. It's not going to be the transcript. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can, go ahead. We're going to give those out to the jurors at this point.
That's all copy, just I could approach Judge.
Sure. Thank you. Also, which is that first clip, the transcript we're giving out relates to 74B, which is the time frame of 8:20 to 12 minutes.
And then Judge, at this point, seek permission to play S74C.
Okay. C or B?
I'm sorry, B.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I just want to ask you, we're pausing it at 29 seconds. Your car is parked where in relation to the Porsche?
South of it.
So just, is that behind it or?
Yes, right behind
Okay, so
it.
we're looking at it's behind it?
Yes.
And which way was your car facing? Was it facing their car or away?
I believe I was facing away, if I recall correctly.
Thank you.
You can say the phone wrong. That's fine. You can say the phone wrong if you're asking that. What's your name? You're good? Okay. Phone number?
Pause for a second. Does it have a skip, or do we have an issue? Okay, just want to make sure. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just deal with that real fast. So if you see something like that on the screen, there may be a legal decision that had to be made, that there are certain areas that would have to be redacted so you would not see that. I don't want you to be concerned about that at all. You should assume that the court had to make a determination one way or another, and it's not for your consideration at all. You're just looking at this as like it's just straight going across. even though it may have been redacted for some reason. Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I love this judge. I love that he is taking time to really kind of explain what he's doing. And welcome, Nick Raiders. We are looking at the Paul Caneiro case, Caneiro case. We are currently on day 3, our Petty Express, and the trial actually is in the same time place. Welcome, welcome. We are actually to the first kind of witness that I think is going to start us on our timeline to the quadruple homicides. Up till now, we've been kind of focusing on the sort of motive information. So the fiduciary shenanigans. Sure, that would be fun. Welcome, Viking Raiders. Yeah, send me a link and I'll do that, because we're just watching this trial because I doubt that there's going to be school tomorrow. So we're trying to, in theory, catch up. They're on, I think, day 10 starting tomorrow if they have court. So I doubt that we'll actually catch up to them. But this case I picked out, I didn't want to pick out a quadruple homicide with children involved for the next trial, but this trial is in fact tailor-made for the Petty Express. The defense cannot find their way to a coherent question with a map and Carmen Sandiego. The judge is about to lose his mind. Every time I was on Uvalde, I kept seeing judge irritated, judge has to save defense. So that is why we are, watching this trial, because I figured we might have a Borowski moment.
Go ahead.
Did you guys invest everything that you're trusted? You want to,
Now, where we are in the kind of timeline of the incident, on that evening at November 19th, 2019, we start out the morning and we're going to start out the case the way the investigation did. So around 4:30 in the morning, there was a fire detected at Paul Caneiro's house, and it looked like it was an intentionally started fire. There was kind of a burn puddle kind of pattern, and the fire was only in the back, sort of in the basement, kind of in a window well, very near to the natural gas line. So that was turned off. And the police kind of were really focused in because as they arrived on the scene, they found a melted gas can. They found a bunch of items in that window well on the inside that had semi-burned. So they were looking at this and they kind of immediately thought arson. And it just seemed a little odd. So Paul, his wife, and his 2 adult daughters were able to get out of the home safely, and they went to the police station because, again, this didn't look right. It looked like it had been intentionally set. Now, around this time, as they are heading to the police station, another call comes in from New Jersey, but in a different town, Colts Head. And coincidentally enough, or oddly enough, another Caneiro brothers' house has completely been engulfed in flames. And not to mention that, but Keith Caneiro is found outside his house near a generator shot 5 times. And we know that Keith has a wife and 2 children. So when the alarm goes out about a possible homicide and 3 missing children in an involved house fire, and there also being a house fire at another Caneiro house, the police start asking questions. And when Paul was actually in, the police station with his family asking questions or answering questions for the police, they started getting a search warrant to search Paul's house, where his fire started, and his cars, all of his cars and the car that went to the police station. Well, upon getting those search warrants, that pile of kind of semi-burned debris that was in the basement, well, it wasn't fully engulfed, and they were able to kind of extract certain things out of that pile. And one of the things that they found was a pair of jeans that had or what appeared to be blood stains on it. And, through further investigation, we find out that these blood stains matched to Paul's niece and nephew. Now, the state alleges that Paul embezzled a grand total of about $78,000 from Keith, his brother's family trust that was supposed to be going to a whole life term insurance as a safety net. Keith was on the verge of finding out that after several transgressions, his brother continued to steal from the trust, and the state alleges that Paul took the lives of all of Keith's family members because the only way he would be entitled to any sort of insurance payout and, rid himself of the brother who is going to ask questions and possibly press charges on him for this fiduciary neglect and embezzlement from the trust, he stood to inherit half of $3 million if the entire Keith Caneiro family was no longer living. Now, the defense claims that it's a conspiracy. The state never looked at anyone beyond Keith or beyond Paul, and that it's probably the other brother, Corey. Now, do they make a good point about this? No, the defense is horrible. But that's kind of the rundown that we're going to get. Now, the state seems to be very competent. The defense makes me want to pull my hair out.
The thing they
gave him the transcript.
Which Melissa is David? And Jordan's? Okay, so Joanna, is this? You said asthma? Yeah. Okay. I was making sure it's not smoke related. Yeah, no. Okay. So what does that happen? You're sleeping in? Sleeping in the alarm from the house is full of smoke. I didn't even see the smoke at first. You saw the smoke right away. Oh my God, it was so quick. The man was going right out of the house. I don't know how to say my shoes. But, anything else? And you didn't see anything this pattern today, so smoke. No, you got to do it as a dog. Yeah. That's what I might have started. That's why, so when I came outside, I saw the. Is there anything like down there? Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I will be back. Fire out? Got it. It's inside of the room, but I have to go inside.
The neighbor or Paul?
Clarify, because it was hard to see. Who were the two individuals that you were talking to that we saw on the screen?
I saw Susan Caneiro and Paul Caneiro.
Okay. After you spoke to Mr. and Mrs. Caneiro, where did you go?
After that, I did walk back to the south side of the house. I was looking at the fire scene that was going on, and was just checking the perimeter.
Did there come a certain point in time when your attention was directed to a particular area of 27 Tilton Drive?
Yes, there was.
What was that?
That was the garage portion of the house that my attention was brought to by Sergeant Jeff Malone.
Okay. Can you describe the driveway and the garage as it looked that morning?
Driveway, as you walked up the driveway, there was a Jeep parked facing the backyard, so that was facing east, and then the driveway would open up a little bit wider so that cars could face the house, the garage of the house, which was south. So there was two cars facing the garage, and there was one car that was facing the backyard.
When you went over to that area, what, if any, observations did you make of that area?
After we walked up past the vehicles, there was a red gas can that was on its side. There was also burn marks on the door trim of the garage door area, and there was burn marks and gas on the Porsche Macan, and there was smoke damage as well on it.
Okay.
Yes, the defense's entire claim is my client isn't dumb enough to have done a quadruple homicide, then an arson, then come home and leave all the evidence of said homicide and arson, well, just everywhere. Now, I think the entire criminal justice system is based on the fact that criminals aren't always the smartest people. But I've never seen the defense of, my client is a stealer, he's a thief, but he's not a moron.
So if you're over by the garage area, where was the fire that you observed when you initially got there? Where would that be in location to the garage area?
If I'm looking at the garage closest to me, and I'm looking inside the doors, it was back left would be where the flames originally were.
Were your observations that you just described over by the garage, were they captured on your body-worn camera?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, permission to play maybe S74C.
Okay.
Just to orient us, what are we looking at here?
Right now, we're looking at 27 Tilton, where that tree is on the side of the house you're seeing towards the back portion. That actually is, I believe, smoke and fire damage. That is the back corner that was on fire.
And whose driveway is that everybody is in?
That's the neighbor's house. That's one house south.
Is that you writing on the pad?
Yes, it is.
Who's the individual that you're following?
That is Sergeant Malone.
Interesting. We don't have night vision. I feel like we're gonna run right into a damn car.
Pause it, please. Let's pause the timestamp, 2 minutes and 7 seconds. What are we looking at in this picture?
We're looking at the garage of 27 Tilton.
Okay, now just for purposes of the record, are the garage doors open or shut or something else?
One door is open, one door is shut.
Which one? The one on the
The
right?
east door, which is the left door in this video, is the one that's open. The right door is closed.
Okay, you can continue, thank you. Officer, are you able to identify from this clip, it's 2 minutes and 17 seconds, which car you were referring to when you said the Porsche Macan?
The further one in the back, the second vehicle, you're seeing the SUV.
Okay. And what is that red item on the ground?
That is a gas can.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the evidence. Now, the state is going to bring evidence up because they do have video evidence like license plate readers and other CCTV, like Ring doorbell footage of Paul leaving his house at approximately 2 a.m. in the Porsche Macan. I call it a Porsche Macan because I don't know cars. Why you would lease a car when you're drowning in debt, I don't know. Why you would lease 5 cars when you're drowning in debt, I don't know. But apparently that the Macan also had smoke damage and a bit of fire damage as well. Like I said, all the evidence was left.
by the garage where the cars were?
Yes.
What, if anything, was done to that area shortly after you made those observations?
After that, we put caution tape up and around it to secure the scene.
Did there come a time when you took possession of anything from the garage area that we just observed?
Yes, there was.
And what was that?
A DVR unit.
Okay. Where specifically did you take possession of that from within the garage?
If you first walk into that garage door that you saw open, it is the back left corner, and it was on top of, I believe, the refrigerator, where there was something that was stacked on top of.
Did you have a role in taking that DVR?
Yes, I was handed it from, we had another officer, Patrolman Bones, that climbed up, and he was able to unhook the DVRs, and then he handed them to me, and I went and placed them and secured them in my locked vehicle.
Okay, and just for purposes of completeness, who requested that you take that DVR?
That was Sergeant Jeff Malone.
Okay. How did you learn where the DVR was located within the garage?
That was from Patrolman Bernhard. He went and spoke with Mr. Caneiro, and he got the information from him, who was relayed to me.
Okay, and once you took possession of the DVR, what, if anything, did you do with it?
I took and I brought it to my vehicle, my patrol vehicle, and I put it in the trunk, which was locked.
Okay, are you referring to your patrol vehicle that was parked behind the car that the Caneros were in?
Yes.
Okay. Who ultimately took possession of that DVR from you?
That would be Detective Catalano from the prosecutor's office.
When you walked over to your vehicle,
Wait a minute. Any relation to Jordan Catalano from My So-Called Life? Because I'm just saying, Teenage Mo still has a little bit of a crush on Jordan Catalano from My So-Called Life.
to place the DVR inside of it?
Yes.
And I think you said it was where'd you put it?
In the trunk. They're locked in the rear.
Okay. Did you pass anyone?
Yes, I did.
Who?
The Caneros were still in their vehicle. Paul's in the driver's seat.
After you secured the DVR system in your trunk, where did you go?
Actually, I went back to the garage.
When you went back to the garage, who was over there at that point?
Now, Fire Marshal Flanagan was there.
Anyone else? If you recall.
The other officers, there was Officer Redmond there, and Bernhardt, I'm not sure who else.
Okay. And if you watched your body-worn camera, would that refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know specifically why Fire Marshal Flanagan was over there?
I believe he was being pointed towards the gas can and the fires that we were seeing on the other side.
Okay. Judge, at this time, the state seeks permission to publish S-74D.
Any objection? Okay.
The two officers we're looking at, to the left and the right, if you could
To the left is Sergeant Malone, to the right is Patrolman Redmond.
And what is Patrolman Redmond holding?
The DVR units, we were trying to figure out which ones were the correct ones.
So had it already been taken at that point?
Yes, it was already taken.
I think you said it was on someplace, where did you say it was?
It was on top of the refrigerator or something in the back corner, the back left corner of the garage, if you're walking through the open door.
Thank you. Is this you walking?
Yes, it is.
What are you holding in your hands?
The DVR unit. As well as wires.
And is there another box too?
Yes, there was.
Because you had two items?
Correct.
What was the other thing?
I'm not sure if that was the router. From there, I do not know what that was.
And we're walking. You're going
Who is
the
this
wrong
gentleman in
way.
plain clothing?
That is Chris Sorrentino. That was the first firefighter on scene.
And who is this officer?
That was Patrolman Bernhardt.
He's like, we're going to get french fries later. Yeah, no, I really could use coffee.
Can we pause it for a moment? We're paused at 2 minutes and 11 seconds. That car, do you see a car in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, whose car is that?
That is the Canero's vehicle that they were in.
Was it in the same location there as it was when you first spoke to them?
Yes. Well, when I After I got their information, yes.
You know, this proves that a first-person UPS game is just never going to be as fun as you'd think it is. Even if you did call it Grand or Going Postal, the video game. I mean, I would play it because it's probably the only video game I would excel in. But yeah, the first-person postal service game just never took off. I think we know why now. That is such an ugly car, and they paid so much for renting it.
Is that the trunk of your car?
Yes, it is.
What are you doing right now?
I'm putting the DVRs and the wires for them inside the trunk of my car.
Who is this individual?
That's another firefighter who's also the captain of our department, West Tar.
Now, I don't know why we're not getting audio from this, but Walking, the first-person game. No worries.
Where are you right now?
The garage of 27 Tilton.
Pause it. I'm sorry, can you go back? A little bit more. It's fine. Sometimes. It's timestamp 6 minutes 5 seconds. Right. So if you're facing the screen all the way to the right, like halfway in the garage, who's that man?
That is Flanagan, Fire Marshal.
Flanagan. Okay. And are there other officers on scene as well over there?
Yes, to the left where you see the light, that's Patrolman Bones, and I'm not sure who that is.
Okay.
Beyond that.
We continue. Thank you. Do you know if Fire Marshal Flanagan was made aware at that point?
Every time they say fire marshal, I want to say Fire Marshal Bill. Possibly the most reckless and OSHA unfriendly fire marshal there ever was, played by Jim Carrey in Living Color. I don't know why he and Homie the Clown play a lot in my childhood, but the 90s were awesome.
That the DVR had been removed from the garage?
I believe I told him that we took the DVR.
How long was Fire Marshal Flanagan over by that garage area from the time you got back there?
Or so, 2 minutes, because then you went, I believe he had to go speak with someone.
Okay, do you know who he went to speak to?
Yes.
Who?
Paul Caneiro,
Okay, and how do you know that?
because he was told that he was advised he was asking who the homeowners were, and he wanted to speak with them.
Now, were any detectives from the Ocean Township Police Department notified that morning of this scene?
Yes, Detective Brady,
Okay, and why was Detective Brady notified?
because he was the on-call detective, and now with the gas can that we saw and the separate fire on that side, it became suspicious, and we were now possibly looking at a crime.
Okay, but just to be clear, I mean, just to be 100% clear at this point, was there any person in particular that you had suspicions about at that point on scene?
No,
Okay. Who was the scene ultimately turned over to?
the prosecutor's office.
Okay, and how long were you on scene for?
I believe I stayed on scene until approximately 9:30, holding scene security.
Nothing further.
For us?
Oh God, brace yourself. Is it gonna be, oh, it's Snooki, or Kim Kardashian.
Sure.
Kim K, the answer is not gonna pop out.
Saunders, may I take the transcripts? Is it back from the jurors? I completely forgot.
Yeah, we could, Art, just pass them down to the end if you don't mind. And yeah, you can come get them. Thank you. This way. Thanks. Thanks, got him. Mr. Decker has it. Thanks.
Yes, 7:50.
Okay, Kim K.
So, let's start with a little bit of a timeline. You testified on direct that you got a call from dispatch at 5:02 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. And you explained to the jurors that that call from dispatch originated from a call from the county?
Yes.
Okay. And so it was the county that notified dispatch and the dispatch that notified you?
Correct.
Okay. And the county call came in at 4:59, you said?
Yes.
And once you learned at 5:02 that...
Well, she is a part of the public defenders. So Paul did have private representation in the first little bit when he was first arrested. Now that was transferred over to the public defender's office. So I don't know. And I say this, I'm actually shocked at how poor the defense is, because generally the the defender's office are going to be lawyers that are going to be in court all the time. They're going to be lawyers that are going to be working functionally with the law every day. So they're usually quite good. I mean, they don't always have the resources the state does or a private attorney does, but they do seem to be very, very knowledgeable, at least in court procedure, and just generally how to ask questions. This defense, it is like their first trial. Now, according to media and outlets and ChatGPT, they both have been practicing law since 2008. So their mediocrity is kind of impressive.
There was a potential fire at 27 Tilton. You then responded.
Correct.
And I think you indicated it took you about 3 or 4 minutes to get there, so you estimate you got there approximately, let's say, 5:06.
Yes, in that
Okay.
time.
Yes. And so obviously, if the call to the county came in at 5:59 and your call from dispatch came at 5:02, you had no knowledge of this fire prior to that, right?
Correct.
You were not on scene prior to 4:59 or 5:02, correct?
Correct.
Because in fact, you were not on scene until approximately 5:06 a.m.
Correct.
And when you got there, who was already there?
Then why ask the question if if not only his body worn, but every other thing says he wasn't there until 5:06? Why ask him if he was there at 5:02? It is questions like these that make me wonder and, well, really denigrate the Department of Education.
There was Chris Sorrentino, who was a firefighter. We had Patrolman Charles Wankowski and Patrolman Bernhardt.
Okay. And are you aware who got there first?
I am not. I know Wankowski and the Bernhardt, they got there almost very similar times, but I was on the other side from where I believe they arrived.
What about Redmond?
Yes, Redmond.
What about where's Bowski from from Aliens 2. I don't know why that's one of the names that I always remember from Aliens 2. I don't even think he was on screen for more than like 0.1 second. But for some reason, I remember the last name Wierzbowski. So did he also make an appearance here?
Sorry, Redmond, not Bernhard. Redmond was there before him.
Okay. So was Bernhard there before you or after you?
After me. That was a misspeak of the names.
Got it. Okay. So just so I understand, so you get there at approximately 5:06, and the people who are already there
Yes.
are Chris Sorrentino,
Yes.
who is like a fire from the fire.
Correct.
Was it Oakhurst?
Oakhurst, Wanamass, Oakhurst, yes.
Okay. He's like a fire person from Oakhurst, and then we have officers Wienpowski and Redmond, who are from Ocean Township.
Yes.
Okay. And so the three of them must have gotten there sometime between 5:02 and 5:06.
Yes.
Okay. And as far as you know, the four of you were the first responders to that scene,
Yes.
right? There wasn't anyone before the four of you, was there?
I believe so.
Okay. And when we saw the body-worn camera footage, we watched a few different clips, correct?
Yes.
But those clips came from like a longer video, right?
Correct.
And that video.
From like a longer video? Ma'am, again, there's a reason I call her Kourtney Kardashian, or, Kim Kardashian, one of the Kardashians, or Snooki. You're a defense attorney. I should not have to deal with your vocal fry and the use of the word like.
Was your body-worn camera that was running while you were on scene?
Yes.
Okay. And why did you turn your body-worn camera on when you first arrived?
Because when we get to scenes, we were supposed to activate our cameras when we were arriving at the call or on the way to the call, and that's the reason I activated them.
Okay. And so what we saw was sort of like clips from the span of about, can we say the first maybe 50 minutes, like close to an hour, but not quite an hour?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw it was dark out, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it fair to say that it was pretty dark?
Yes.
Okay. And when you had your first interaction with Caneros, specifically it was Susan Canero, right?
Yes.
We saw the video.
Yes.
And when we watched that video, what we saw was you were asking Susan to move the car further down the road, correct?
Yes.
Because you were concerned that the car was too close to the scene.
Yes.
And you relayed that to them.
Yes.
And specifically, what you said to Susan was, "Can you guys go somewhere further away? Because it looks like the gas meter." That's what you said,
Yes.
right? Okay. And I don't want to speculate as to what you meant by that, but you did testify that the fire was near the gas meter, correct? And so were you essentially saying?
Are we going to stipulate to the fact that natural gas is flammable and could cause an explosion? Where are we going with this, ma'am?
You need to move down the road because this is dangerous potentially.
Yes.
Okay. And so that's why you related to them because it looks like the gas meter. Those were your words.
Yes.
But you didn't actually explain to them in more specifics. You just wanted them to move the car. That was your priority.
Yes.
So you weren't like, it wasn't. You did not say to them, the fire.
He didn't go full Bill Nye the Science Guy. He's like, do you know what fracking is? Well, fracking is bad, okay? But fracking releases natural gas, okay, that is flammable, okay? And flammable means that it can start a fire or go kaboom. Where did this... Again, the Zoolander School of Law for Kids that don't read good. I swear to God, if she said, if I research and this woman came from Harvard, I give up.
Fire happens to be near the gas meter. We're worried about that. You just said it looks like the gas meter. Please move.
Yes.
Okay. And now that was your first conversation, and it was very brief.
Yes.
It was about another 9 minutes later, I think you said, that you had your second interaction with them.
Yes.
And during the second interaction, that's the one where we had the...
In theory, she is actually the deputy assistant, or the deputy assistant in the public defender's office. So she has some seniority. New Jersey, I'm going to need you to explain yourself to the congregation because what is going on at the public defenders? And you haven't met Ponytail yet. We don't even want to get into Cletus the ponytail hippie who can't find court procedure with two hands and a seeing eye dog. This is the good one. Hold that into your heart.
Transcript. The purpose of that interaction was to get what, pedigree information?
Yes.
To make sure they were okay?
Yes.
And that's when you met, did you meet all four of the Caneros at that point?
I didn't speak with the daughters. I only really met with Paul and Susan, who were outside of the vehicle.
Okay. And when you met with them, you asked for simple things like their phone number and their date of birth and things like that.
Yes.
And then you asked, did you guys inhale smoke or anything? Is your chest tight? Again, trying to ascertain whether there were any injuries.
Yes.
And what Paul Caneiro says in direct response to that question is, I hit my hand somehow.
Yes.
Okay? And so he volunteers that information to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he's letting you know that's the only injury that he's aware anyone has. And you ask him if he wants an ambulance to check him out, and he says to you, I don't know, what do you think? He wasn't sure. Is that fair?
Yes.
And then ultimately, I don't know if did someone give him like an ice pack of some sort? I think is that what
I'm
happened?
not sure after that because he said him and Susan said they didn't need any medical attention at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't. My involvement with medical and them was ended there.
Okay. But there was no further discussion about the hand at that point, right?
No.
Okay. And
Now, the hand is going to come into play because, and I will try to give you guys warning when we're going to go into the medical examiner part and that kind of thing, because as much as we don't like to glorify the kind of horror, but it was a very violent attack on both of the young children in Keith Canero's home, his daughter and son. A lot of stab wounds, a lot of kind of fighting, it seems, was involved in those two deaths. So it is very likely that Paul sustained his hand injury that they are going to photo and look at more clearly when he's at the police station. Now, the defense alleges that he bumped his hand while wandering around the house when he was trying to get his family out. The state is going to contend that his hand injury very likely came from physical altercation with his brother, a physical altercation with his wife, his brother's wife, or his niece and nephew.
he did not say he burned his hand, right? He said I hit it.
Yes, I believe his hit hurt. It's kind of really hard to exactly hear, but yes, he said hit his hand or hurt his hand.
Do you want to see the transcript? Will that help?
You can show me it, yes.
Do you have the full marks that
That face was like right here. That is the visual capture of no skin off my nips. Like, I don't care. Like, show me, don't show me. It's not gonna, no skin off my nips, as I like to say. That is the visual representation of that. He's like, hit, hurt, don't give a, it's not gonna change nothing for me.
So I'm going to approach with what's been previously marked for identification as S75, and I'm just going to direct your attention. This is a transcript of the body worn camera footage, just the clip we saw of the interview.
Okay.
And I'm going to just direct your attention to line 39. Line 36 is your question about the, and then 39 says, I hit my hand somehow.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Now, he also tells you during that interaction, he mentions like, oh my God, the smoke was so thick.
Yes.
And he also notes to you that they don't even, like, they kind of ran out of the house. He doesn't even have shoes on.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And in any event, after you speak with them, is that when you're shown the Or was it before or after you speak with them that you're shown the small fire by the garage?
After I spoke with them, I was shown that.
After, okay. Do we have like a photo of just the pictures of the garage? Just like before.
Kim Kardashian, you could have pulled photos yourself instead of making the state pull them. No. Again, the defense is going with this theory that this was all a setup because their client, would never be dumb enough to do a quadruple homicide, then an arson, then come to his home, put all the evidence everywhere, and try to arson his own home, leaving evidence in the Porsche Macan, also a go bag in the Porsche that they are going to take to the police station. So, yeah, basically the defense is my client isn't a moron. He actually was questioned right away. So I think we're going to get to it in the next witness or possibly with this witness. I am going to take about an hour break. I do have a stream or this. We're basically going to be continuing this at 3, but I do need to, get some lunch and check on the wood burning fireplace and Mr. Moe. Anyhoozle. The defense's kind of idea is that no one would be dumb enough to do a crime and then basically leave all of the evidence out in the open. Now, I say we go look at Chandler Halderson, and criminals don't always, make sense at all, or Joel Guy Jr. Now, as to why she's not prepared, the defense has not been prepared at all for this case. I have no idea. Okay. So we have day 1. We kind of skipped through day 2. The defense was meandering and ridiculous, and there was basically 3 hours of ponytail man trying to trip up a former IRS agent about how legitimately this was a question. Could the bank statements give you any concept of the demeanor of Keith Caneiro? Now, there's really no way to ascertain feelings from a bank statement, which is why the former IRS agent was like, I don't understand you. So we spent 20 minutes explaining how one's personal demeanor could be extracted from a bank account, which she was still confused, and the judge said, move on. So, yeah. And this is probably the only time in the Petty Express where day 3, I go by the Petty Express timeline, not so much the court, since we speed up and go through breaks. We are actually on day 3 on this particular stream. And then this afternoon, we might even get into day 4, is my hope. So that's kind of where we're going. I do want to speed through because this is a pretty interesting case. And the defense makes you want to drink. Why they have him dressed up like Bill Cosby, I don't know.
You can both. Slide 3 of them.
Can we have the back prosecutor's table?
Why do you need the prosecutor's table?
Okay, so I just wanted to orient ourselves. What we can see in this photo is the front of 27 Tilton, correct?
You need to tell us what photo it is for the record.
So sorry, it's S1-1A3.
Okay.
This is the front of 27 Tilton, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is obviously during daylight hours, right?
Yes.
Okay. But you're familiar with it?
Yes.
And what we see on the left side of the screen is the garage, right?
Yes.
And we see the 2 garage doors.
I see the one on the right. The one on the left looks like it's obstructed by the two pieces coming out, the trim pieces, but yes, you can see the garage doors.
Okay, and to be clear, like this wasn't, I'm not saying this is how it was when you first saw it or anything, this is just a photo taken later, right?
Yes.
But just to orient ourselves, the garage door to the far left, right?
Yes.
Sort of, I'm just gonna point on the screen, kind of where the tip of this Porsche vehicle and the bottom of the left garage door, this is where that small fire was, right?
Yes, it was all the way to the left side of that garage door.
Do you want to circle it on the screen? Would that be helpful?
Yes, sir.
Just where you saw that small fire? Okay.
As best as I can.
Now, I will say, New Jersey, I do like this setup where they do have the touch screen, and the judge has been very conscientious to have them actually print out a screenshot of wherever a witness will mark or note something on a document or photo for the record, for the transcript. And I really like this. Of all the things that I've made fun of in this trial, I think this is really good. And I do hope that courtrooms around the United States adopt this, because a lot of times when you're reading transcripts, it'll say, witness pointed to lower left-hand quadrant of blank, and then you have to go look at blank and you have to assume you know what a left-hand quadrant is. So I really, really I really like this particular setup.
Yeah.
All right, and then on this side here, now this is the right side of the house,
Correct.
if you're looking at it.
Yes.
And then the smoke was coming out the back side, right? The fire?
Yes.
Like we can't see that part of the house in this photo, right?
Correct.
Because it's behind.
Did this heifer just ask if we can see or tell us that we can't see the back of the house because we're looking at the front side? Oh, it's going to be adult beverage time for the afternoon. I don't know if I can take this weaponized insanity.
It's like the back corner,
Yes.
right? Okay. So just to make sure we're on the same page here, there's two separate fires, right?
Yes.
In this house. And the main fire, the big one, is the one we really can't see because it's behind the right side it's the back right of the house.
Yes.
Correct? And then there's this small fire that evidently occurred by the garage, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as you're on scene, you can take it down.
Hold on for a minute. Sir, so that we all understand, are you talking about the first bay?
No, these further bay towards the backyard.
So it's the back bay?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And the judge has been really good at, the defense is craptastic. Again, it's like they don't even understand basic procedure. He has to go in and clarify exactly what document it is, what they're looking at. The defense has been awful at getting things into the record correctly, to the point that the judge has actually had to step in on 3 occasions and ask questions of witnesses himself to clean up after the defense.
Because it's hard to see from that photograph. So everyone understand we're talking about the back bay? All right. And so we can have that marked as 3.1, slide 3.1.
We also see in this photo that the crime scene tape is up, right?
Yes.
And I think you mentioned that on direct. You said that the crime scene tape was put up to secure the area, right?
Yes.
But I'll back up for a second. So, patrolman.
Defense is constantly backing up, hoping that they'll find solid ground or a clue. However, they just seem to back up from quicksand to lava to scorpions. Like they're never actually going to get to solid ground.
And so who shows you the fire? Is it Redmond, or the area of the garage? Is it Redmond?
That was Sergeant Jeff Malone.
Sergeant Malone.
Yeah.
So Sergeant Malone brings you to the garage area where the fire at that point had been extinguished, right?
Correct.
And he shows you some things, right?
Yes.
And the things he shows you are, number one, the gas can that we saw in your video, it was like laying on the ground, right?
Yes.
Can we actually, so I think it was S74D. The state had paused it at 6:05. Can we get to that? Oh yes, sir, do you mind hitting on it's it's the bottom right corner. It's hard to see there.
Here it is. There we go.
6:05. there's good. Now, if we can just, I don't know if you can like tap your screen to get the bottom, so you can see the bottom. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, okay, do that. Let's minimize it.
Oh,
There we go.
now he's
Okay.
going to update.
So, sir, we see the gas can in the photo, in the still frame of the body-worn camera, right?
Yes.
Can you circle the gas can, please? And maybe don't maximize it, but drag it out so that like it covers most of the screen and cover so she can print it.
No,
You know what? Let's try again. Do you mind hitting undo?
Sure.
And we're just going to make this bigger to cover more of the screen. You can't like tap in. Okay, maybe if you press play. Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right, let's minimize it again then.
Oh my God. Courtney, stop.
Okay, let's just circle that one, if you don't mind.
This is the gas can I'm circling.
Okay, and then if we can capture that. And for purposes of the evidence, we'll just like redact or the actual screen, which is not part of the evidentiary photo.
Would you like me to circle where the burn marks are on the door so that you can see a little better in this image?
Sure. Okay, so we're looking at the left garage bay,
Yes.
and that's where that small fire was.
Yes.
And we can kind of see in the photo actually like the char marking from where the little fire was.
Yes, there's a fire there. There was another fire that was on top of the vehicle as well that was extinguished when I got there as well.
Okay, let's talk about that one. You observed so if we back up for a second, there's multiple cars in this driveway.
Yes.
Right? And I think there was 3 total?
Yes.
And there's a Jeep that's kind of further back.
Now, rather damning to the defense's case that this was all a conspiracy, the Porsche Macan was the only vehicle of the Caneros that was targeted for arson. Now, it was also the vehicle that had bits and pieces of black, those black like latexy or nitrile gloves. They were found some in there. They also found, I think, some blood staining in the car and gas gasoline remnants in the trunk. So, yeah, it just seems like no one cared enough about Paul to do all this stuff at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Back down the driveway.
Yes.
But then there's 2 Porsche vehicles closer to the garage.
Yes.
And are they parked side by side?
Yes.
And one of them had like a burn mark on the hood, or
Yes.
maybe multiple burn marks.
Yes.
So what we printed with the 2 circles will be S74 D.1.
I'm going to show the state what I've marked as D1-200, D1-200, D1-201, and D1-203. Judge, may I approach?
Okay.
Sir, I'm approaching you with just a few photographs. Do you recognize what's in these photos?
Yes, they
Yes,
do.
that is the vehicle that was parked in the driveway with the burn marks.
Is that, we can see in this
Now-
is D1-200, there's...
That will actually be interesting testimony because I am by no means a force multiplier expert, but apparently the force multiplier that was allegedly used in this particular crime had multi-barrels. So basically there were different barrels you could put on the same base of the handheld force multiplier. And one of the barrels and was found in Paul's possession, I think in his go bag that he took to the police station, as you do. I believe so. So the ballistics used, or the ballistics found at Keith's house do match the barrel markings, at least as much as, forensics and ballistics information. It had either he had done something to the barrel. I can't quite remember, since I've slept and done Uvalde since then. I'll have to go back and watch the state's opening, but he had done something, put on a different barrel prior to. So they did end up finding the barrel that they more closely associate with the Keith Caneiro crime scene, but I cannot remember, and I didn't even know that force multipliers had interchangeable barrels. I thought you kind of had to have those things secured because of the mini explosion that went on. But I'm not a genius in that. But you guys, I am going to take a little break right now. I am setting it up so that this stream will send you directly to my afternoon 3 p.m. stream. Where we will be picking up where we left off. They are getting really, really close to lunch, and then we'll come back to this witness and defense. It looks like it's going to be not terribly excruciating, but mildly excruciating, like 30 minutes. And then it looks like we have another... we're still going to be in the state's case. Looks like we are moving on towards an investigator or possibly an arson investigator for the rest of the day. So that is what we will be doing when I get back. I'm going to go check on snow totals, and everyone's warm and toasty, and Mr. Mo still has all of his hair because he's kind of been on feral kid duty. So I will see you guys in just a little bit. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this snow day. Everyone stay warm, stay safe, and I will see you in just a little bit. But we will get going with this, and then tomorrow I am going to be doing Mornings with Mo. I will hang out with Nick, and then we'll be back on the Canerio case, because I think I'm going to be hiding from my children if they indeed are out of school for several days. So we might be streaming all the time. It's Mo Live 24/7. Save me from my children. Bye, you guys.